Big could have been seen as the favorites coming in, and one of them will not be making it to that final later on. So FlyQuest, of all the routes to have, they've got arguably the easiest one. But let's get this show on the road. FlyQuest coming as your favorites, our favorites too, but Wildcard do seem to have just something up their sleeve. When they got this sort of underdog mantle about them, they seem to play up to the occasion, as they did yesterday in front of the home crowd, and against arguably the home crowd favorites of MAT2.
For sure. They answered the call. Alistair gonna get checked here. Stan is just so confident he's not even bothered. He's just running straight through. He knows Sonic's got his back. And he did indeed assume correctly. So 5 versus 4 comes in quite early on. Friend has found his way downstairs into Orbs. This is a bit of a weird one, actually. They break the glass. Stan with a lurking play, can't find success. Sonic's also gone down. He was still out in yard. Friend, as we have praised him, as we've looked at him as that player to watch, makes himself known with a really, really quick kill there. Gonna have to get a few more, though, to keep this pistol alive. Unfortunately, they are making an awful lot of noise here on the T side of things, trying to be very confusing and just draw attention. On that CT side, tap onto the bomb, not a real hold, single goes, window's already open, Sus back towards it, big kill from him, spots out another, can't get it, Julie's will best him, Friend there vaguely aware of where he's at, the double doors are open, there is no kit available, they're expecting him at single door, he can't get the player off, Dexter ducking under the bullets will get the pistol for FlyQuest.
Big start, they needed it as well. Come in towards your opponent's map pick and set the tone on your terms. Nuke, the most statistically CT-sided map in the pool, and that's exactly what we want to see coming through from this FlyQuest side. Come in and showcase that we've got something about ourselves. Nice retake coming through into kind of getting on towards the site, especially after Friend should have been a presence towards top ramp. It becomes a bit precarious trying to push your way down, but unfortunately, he was left alone in that situation, and it was just a little tough. Had to hit a couple of headshots, and like you mentioned, Dexter, head tucked, not to be. Bomb plant, though, for Wildcard does mean a buy. So something you'll take every day of the week. We got an AK-47 double Galil, a Deagle, and a Scout. So it's not the worst investment going, but damage out the gate. Susp spam through the smoke, down to 19 points of HP. And there's a world, and now he gets tagged again, that he might actually just drop the Galil over towards JBA. Stan doesn't expect the aggression. Alistair gets one and gets away.
Totally caught off by that. They really had no idea where he was at as well to even set up a trade, so something's gone awry there. It will cost them pretty massively, and as you mentioned, Sus being low. So this is a really disadvantageous spot to find yourself in. Not a lot of utility remaining. You know, it just kind of gets worse and worse the longer that you look at it. A minute left on the clock is maybe the only thing going for them. What is the plan? Where is the gap? These are the questions they'll be asking, trying to rely on Friend here to just creep forwards, potentially find an entry, take his time.
Keep an eye out for this as well as we get to the mid to late round. One nade left for FlyQuest, no kits. So if that bomb does go down, they're going to be under a bit of time pressure, but time is more on the pressured side of Wildcard right now. This needs to go down. Susp finally cleared off. Dexter will find one more as well. MP9 up close, can't get the kill, but Dexter can mop up the trade. At least Friend all alone with a Scout. Too tall an order. Only the one casualty is a really nice round out from the FlyQuest side, and this is going to give them a really strong start into things here. We're talking about now a pistol and a bonus buy, or I guess a force buy, taken in your favor. A 3-0 start is more or less a guarantee. Funds are going to be very low out towards Wildcard because they got nothing really in that round, and this is exactly what FlyQuest wanted to do, coming in towards this map. And you know, it goes back to the conversation we were having about why have we not gone to Anubis, and what is kind of the choice to say, why has it been floated towards the end rather than picked into, because it did look like a good map for Wildcard, especially on paper, and not as strong for FlyQuest. I think for them, they absolutely prefer to go in towards a Nuke here than the Anubis.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit interesting. I mean, we got the insight. They talked about it a lot on the desk, but it seems like it is just something that maybe trying to find some healthy middle ground, right? The first day, especially for Wildcard, did look difficult, and as Apple so rightly pointed out, it's Friend that sort of struggled and then has scaled up and gotten a little better. So maybe they are consulting him a bit more directly of like, how do you feel? How do you feel about this? You know,
yeah.
Especially for this team, one of the big caveats that we talked about was the fact that they play so heavily around Fuzi and the Orb. He's not here. can Friend fill that gap? And I think they've very quickly been trying to figure out how to do that, you know, and they've done quite well in that sense.
I mean, the interesting thing for me as well is when you look at Permitter, of course, the team that Friend plays for regularly, obviously standing in here for Fuzi, but the team they play for regularly, they actually prefer Anubis to Nuke, or they're better on it. They play a little bit more Nuke, but to way less success. So it's one of those for me where, I mean, obviously there must be a pretty big conversation where he's like, I just prefer AWPing on Nuke, as you would. Long range as a sight is a very AWP-heavy map. But yeah, I mean, it is one of those where you felt like if you looked at it on paper, obviously that's only half of the story. His confidence seems to be on Nuke, and so far, one apiece as Liaz will get caught as well. Sonic's pretty low, and down goes Stans. That's definitely going to put the advantage back in favor of FlyQuest. Ins, as he gets his, Sonic will respond more or less exactly the same time. The one thing you got to keep an eye out for, though, is just the fact that Sonic's so low.
Yeah, really good find from him, given that low HP. Slow creep downstairs here. In's making a fair amount of noise. Not sure if it will have been heard. Sonic goes down up top finally, but how will this look? They've got to check all their angles. They really do not bank on someone already being posted up down here. Easy for Alice there. They weren't looking at him, and it's such a tough angle to clear as well. So just a positional game. Does not happen, unfortunately, for the Wildcard boys. First rifle goes the way of the Aussie contingent, and this is a very, very good look for them, picking up where they left off. The winner's mentality. They're feeling pretty confident in themselves. And I think Vexite, you know, as compared to Susp, gave a very insightful kind of interview. It just goes to show that I think they have been putting that time in, and they have been able to vocalize and articulate their problems as a team. And then, yeah, they can communicate that a little safer, a little PR-wise to the interviewer, of course, whoever it may be. So really, really solid look from them.
Yeah, attack pause called early here by Wildcard, and a moment for them to just take a breather, have a conversation, and try and now, as we go back in towards a gun round, try and find some success here. I mean, we're looking at them to really have the responding kind of, you know, Vince, the coach, who is obviously going to get pretty vocal himself, knows that this is in a situation where you probably need to be getting at least 4, if not 5 on your T side, and so far for Wildcard, they've really yet bar that pistol to actually look all that competitive in these rounds. Early nade, does a lot of damage. And already the fight to go in favor of this FlyQuest side. First for Vexite, seconds coming through for Dexter as he doubles down, and Vexite on a little bit more to his tally. Friend left all alone in a matter of mere moments. Picks up an M4, sure, but good luck. He's basically got to pull off a 1v5.
Yeah, looking to do some damage in this round. Ultimately, nobody else has been able to do so. The double stack, not expected round the corner. Friend even has a little giggle at the setup, but ultimately it goes the way of FlyQuest. You're not going to get much off of that, are you? Half by bursting through smokes and everything onto the A-bomb site. Like, very rarely does it work unless you've got some insane flashes. But they know that. So it's all good. Slight throwaway. Trying to just get into the big rounds, really, on the Wildcard end. Work a little bit of communication, a little bit of that team play. They have started slightly cold here, and again, on their map, yes, it is that less favorable side, but we need to see something from them in the near future. This also comes after that timeout, so we're expecting bigger and better things here.
Yep. Friend had Alice there trapped in towards that right-hand side, but he does manage to evade the first shot. It takes a pop shot, Friend drops off that angle, but they've got back already control. They've got top silo as well, and one down over towards the lower blue box, so it's a pretty decent outside presence shown here by Wildcard. You leave those 2 plays in towards lobby to hold for those crunches and to hold for CT aggression. This is the sort of standard default that we do at the moment, bit of outside pressure, and it's a waiting game. Wait for somebody on that CT side to make a mistake. In's playing the crack angle there. More of an information gather as the util starts to come through. Wildcard can slowly start pushing their way forward. Cross smokes out here as well. They're going to try and break them open a little bit. Might actually go a bit deep, that. No, it's okay. But one is still crossed.
Yeah, got to be aware of this possibility, honestly. They have done quite a good job on the FlyQuest side as well, not being afraid of sending someone down to that B-bomb site, which some teams, you know, much prefer the retakes and keeping control of the upper side of the map. Dexter is going to be here. Should be able to get himself into a decent position to stop them. 25 seconds, just about to get this bomb planted. Not a good look. As Wildcard running low on time, FlyQuest getting more and more and more ready for this. So many bodies here. That does allow a lot of fights to come in, I suppose, but it's Dexter, the first man in on B, that lands the double spray down. Sonic was upstairs holding for any flanking opportunities. They do not come. He will hold his AK, and he will get to do that, but this is looking very, very scary indeed. These rounds, there are kills. It's not completely hopeless, but they've not really got many bomb plants. They've not really been contesting the sites that well.
Yeah, off the rip, this has been a very clean show of things at the moment. FlyQuest looking very comfortable with a 6-0 up. I mean, that's the exact start that you want to be seeing coming in towards this nuke. And on this CT side, looking very comfortable, as they have throughout this tournament so far. FlyQuest are on a real streak at the moment, not only just in this tournament, but before it as well, domestically, including what we've seen so far, 10-match winning streak for them, including the two of Bet Boom in their opening game, 13-3, and Saw in that second round, 13-9, which, you know, we didn't, and many people didn't expect them to win that. Saw was seen as the favorites in towards that game and arguably even this tournament before it started. But FlyQuest have looked near perfect, more or less all the way throughout. We haven't seen them have many of these kind of glaring errors that have actually been quite problematic internationally at that tier 1 level. So far, so good. Dexter playing a very good game as well for him at the moment. He's loving life in the server, 9-0, ins 9-2 as well. Both of them popping off, and that's exactly what you want to see. A strong rifler of ins who's so reliable, showing that, and Dexter as well, who's not looking weak at all. Alistair, he'll make his name known, as Sus was going to get caught as well. One player into a silo, spotted, tuck his head. A precarious spot, you don't want to peek up as well. It's not really a fight you want to be taking with a rifle, especially against the AWP. And while that was going on, more bodies drop over towards Wildcard. They're left down to 2 in what was like sub 30 seconds. I mean, they've now got a minute 15 to try and figure out a 2 versus 5. It wouldn't even be the most outlandish thing to try and call for a save, but they're not given that luxury. JBA gets one, insta-traded.
Friend creeping in, might be able to take a name into the grave. Ooh, that's difficult for Liaz. Ins is low around this corner as well. Doing a good job of, you know, just buying time for his teammates to come in. I think he knows that potentially his days are indeed numbered.
1v2. It's
not impossible. Yeah. It's not impossible here. It's all about whether he's aware of this flank, and I don't think that he is. He's hanging around a little too long. Dexter will get the freebie on him, unfortunately. Yeah, man, kind of wild. A really, really good mix-up, I think, from FlyQuest in that round. They've been playing a little further back, a little more reactive, right? And again, we've said that there's been chances at the bomb sites, but not quite the plants necessarily, and letting them get in a bit further this round. Sure, some of the aggression comes their way, but they were much more confident in their angles, in their positions to stand guard. So they're proving that they have quite a versatile game here. Wildcard, Stanislaw, maybe running out of ideas. Nothing seems to be sticking. Yeah,
it's one of those as well. I mean, if they don't get the next gun round, or even before going into the next gun round, I wouldn't even mind another attack pause. You cannot let this go 8-9-0. I mean, at that point, we're already talking about it potentially being game over on map 1. And it's Wildcard's pick as well. Dicey spot. They need to have some foundation before heading into the strong side of CT. That is for sure. Next, will drop a flash just in case there was a bit of a hot pop. Tech9s will get one, and actually a second behind it as well, but Vexite's still yet to be cleared. They know that Alice is in towards heaven with an AWP. The bomb will drop, and they get down Ven.
This could be interesting now. This could really open up the round. Liaz is here in good time. Can't quite drop that bomb, but at least confirms its location. He's going to, again, have to buy time. Susp is holding for drop-downs. They're not going to come. It is heavy ramp presence here. He's going to have to join his teammates sooner rather than later. Down to just 2. FlyQuest not wasting any moments here, holding all these angles, make sure no peeks come their way, but it's still a dangerous cross past the windows, of course. Going to try and take it quickly and hope that they can get the drop on the site. That is indeed going to be the answer. Big damage done by the Deagles, but caught on the reload, and a perfectly executed 3 versus 3 retake there. Really could have been dangerous. Sometimes you can disrespect the Deags, go a bit ahead of your teammates. That was pretty much perfect. Yeah, firepower advantage there, but I just think they outplay them, right? They know that they don't really have the util to work with, or, as you mentioned, that firepower, so they just play it perfectly. They know that they do have a bit of time pressure, but they just, you know, execute that to perfection, and don't really give Wildcard many options in that post plant. A bomb plant isn't bad, but it's not great. We can't be taking those silver linings anymore. You're 8-0 down.
Back into a buy as well for Wildcard. 8Ks out across the board and a fairly decent full belt of util across most players. While Sonic has used some of his early. Alistair, elevated angle as well. They've just sort of got past him. He's going to silently get down and then not so silently reposition. Missed shot, bit of trouble. Going to drop a nade as well. It'll bank relatively nicely, but he's being hunted and he's still alive somehow. Pressure on, tail between his legs. He's trying to dip away and he isn't given the luxury of that. Friend will get the kill and now will get himself an AWP.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. A bit more oomph from the Wildcard attack. It feels like JBA on the pre-fire trying to get it done. Dexter nearly does find that second, not quite. Bomb makes its way down. They have decided to commit to the B bomb site. Stan again for the plant here. A blow off the double doors. Not sure which side that came from. I would assume the T side, given that double nade there that obviously didn't find very much. Molotov coming in. Friend trying to keep them at bay. They get split up. The AKs will rip them apart. It's down to Ins. And he wants very little to do with it. They do have a lot of money available, so I'd maybe give it a look in, try and take some guns away. He's clearing the extremities, hoping that there is another number he can just reduce. It's not going to be the case, so maybe it is a look at the exits here and potentially unafraid to sacrifice himself. I'll take that and then get out of there. He picks up another M4 with exactly the same skin on it, but there you are. We'll go down to the bomb anyway. And Wildcard finally get themselves their first round.
Better late than never, but this probably needs to be a really strong finish into the tail end of this half. I think we probably want to be getting 8-4. Just like we said, to have that foundation, have something to fall back on. 8-4, you get a pistol, you get a force, get a gun round, and the game's tied up. I mean, it's a lot of things that have to go right, and you already touched on it. There's plenty of money left over for FlyQuest to reinvest in, so they're not feeling the pressure. They're not feeling really any nerves at the moment. That was just a pretty decent execute. They hunt down the AWP to give them that spacing towards the site, and the rotations were just a tad too slow. And unfortunately, not able to get back in towards to deny that bomb or even pull off the retake. They get picked off one by one. All in all, pretty good. I think for Urkas at the moment as well, the coach over towards FlyQuest, not a lot he really has to say in this spot. I think for him, he realizes they're in a strong spot. They're not feeling too much pressure. That was just a good round, but a lot of things went right for Wildcard, where in previously they haven't, because FlyQuest have had a pretty good read. So yeah, buy back out. AWP's out both ways to start at the round, rather than Friend scooping it off Alistair's corpse. So we'll see how he wields this. He's going very aggro towards our side, and it will work in his favor. Inns just gets blindsided by the aggression. The pace is beautiful, but Lias for two. Dexter as well going to add to it as well in a matter of moments. Stan the man left all alone. The IGL going to lead by example here in a 1 versus 3, and this feels surely too tall a task for him, but he snuck his way down Ven, and he's got a gap down towards B.
He's always got the bomb, this guy. He's planted in the same spot quite a number of times, so we'll feel comfortable here, one would assume. Quick move down the vent, get the utility out, create myself some space, he says. Flash comes in, and he's looking to move aggressively. Reading the situation quite well, but of course it all comes down to whether he can land the headshots. It's a simple game, Counter-Strike, when you put it like this. Good spot for him, just can't split the difference. And they will get the better of him, unfortunately. Still nice to get a plant. It will continue facilitating these future buys, but I mean, one and then done is just really not a good look.
No, it's not. They're looking for that AWP as well. I think they should be able time to get it. And they do. Perfect time, some would say as well. So all the little additions there, the cherry on top as well of scooping that all back up, something they don't have to reinvest into. It can drop back over to Alistair. A little bit of a quiet game out from Alistair so far. He hasn't exactly had the impact just yet in comparison to Friend, like that opener who looked really, really decent. But this all comes down to the rifling court. Liaz, Vexite, Dexter all having their moment to shine in that round. And 9-2-1 again. This is a very, very lopsided first half. Just to remind you all, this is Wildcard's pick, so signs aren't looking too good at the moment. We shall see. As we head into the penultimate round of this half, if FlyQuest lock in double digits in this first half, surely it's done. And Alistair for one, looks for two in the flames. He can't find it. The JBA will trade.
Yeah, it's a good move. It is a good move for Wildcard, something that they can work with. Have had to pull back, though. There's a lot of outside presence, as always, from FlyQuest. They don't want to commit too hard, and they've had a couple moments in the recent rounds, particularly in that previous where it did actually start well, and then another play was being made, and that one went south and ended up costing them. Sonic catches the aggression, grabbing a chill here. JBA keeping attention outside. Inns wants this fight. JBA gonna give it! And he demolishes him. What a shot. What a shot for Wildcard.
Will he expect this, though? Because that was essentially the top secret player right there that was playing that, and he catches him, sure. So I don't think he's going to expect Vexite in this timing. He's a little bit disciplined. He looks for a second, and his support can't see it. Avoids the orb shot as well. His friend caught off guard by it. And then Liaz is completely unknown in this situation. So one up towards Heaven, one in towards Main, and he probably wants Liaz to take first fight. That gives Vexite now a bit of space to work with. They know one single door. Vexite's made his presence known. 1v2. Isn't even good for the first as well. So Wildcard, good round for them. And in front of the local crowd as well, that's exactly what they needed. A 9-3. I don't even really want to say workable because it doesn't really feel workable in honesty, but it's better than nothing.
That's true. That is very true. I think at this point, with how negatively it has started, unfortunately for Wildcard, they will take anything. And again, you always have that internal belief as a player, as a team, that you can pull anything back. If FaZe can do it, so can I, maybe.
Yeah.
But
one way of putting it.
It's a good map. It's a good map as well for that. But yeah, they're not helping themselves, having only created space for 3, and they might not even get there. We're being hopeful for them. It may well be the double digits for FlyQuest, which, when we're on that realism conversation, that's a game over in the first half. Any team worth their salt should be able to close it. It's a good look here for both teams in terms of the buy for the final round.
Alistair posted. He knows, right? He saw that util thrown earlier, but they didn't actually peek off of it. Now the outside smokes come. Inns might want to try and get a bit active here. If that nade comes over, Inns might want to try and fight behind it. No, he knows, he hears them running in. That was a team flash. That catches Stan. He was blind running into that fight. JBA gets one, but the response on the AWP is great. They keep the numbers.
Yeah, it's a good look. They've got themselves a lead. They have lost the control, and the drop down comes in, of course, but I think they will have a little bit more opportunity to go hunting for information and should start to become savvy. They are going to be late down here, I feel. Liaz will be the first one in, but if Wildcard keep up this kind of pace, although slow, should be able to cross in to get that bomb down. They took a hesitation. They took a pause. Oh, the Shadow's been spotted. Friend knows he's here. Just really want to bait in the peak. Go for something aggressive. It's actually Dexter that goes, but eventually Friend's angle will pay off. It's down to a 2-on-1 though. Sonic doesn't have loads of time to work with, looking to take the early fight before getting the bomb down. It's not a lot of time. He's got to go, and Alistair, he knew what was up. The no-scope lands for it. Double digits for FlyQuest. This one looks all but over. We'll find out in the second half.
Secrets, no secrets, no secrets. Always thought I could walk through fire, blow up the storm and see the light, yeah. I told my friends that I could run on water, and they said nobody can. They'll see me flying through the sky, yeah. Play hide and seek behind the clouds. I show my friends that I'm not scared of dreaming.
It would seem Neo and I are a bit cursed for the one-sided games, to be honest. We've had, I think, no maps go double digits both ways, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, no, 100%. We've had the best we've had was we got like 6 rounds out of the T side yesterday.
Yeah,
and it was like,
yeah.
okay, something here. But speaking of something, Vexai, hello, this is quick, this is aggressive, and the Glocks at this sort of position are always at the advantage, on the move, up in your face, and well, unfortunately, nothing JBA could really do there. Sonic really does have to do something here, though. If he can deny them going up, that'll be huge. Gets one, looks for the second, not to be, as Vexai continues to tear.
Yeah, really good round in from him, the difference maker here for FlyQuest. Still, 4 guns versus 3. So Wildcard, technically they've got a few more. Now there's only 2 guns on the FlyQuest side, and Friend's going to go unchecked for the double kill. There you have it, the first stepping stone to recovery for Wildcard secured.
Yeah, and of course, Wildcard, they're not new to coming back from behind as well. We saw them yesterday with a mat down against M80, reverse sweep as well as the underdogs. And who's to say they can't do the same here? Many people, in fact, but we'll have to see whether that'll be the case. That is what they need to do. Get the first pistol. If they can come in towards this next one as well, solidify that. It's going to be a buy-in towards the next round for FlyQuest. We're talking, they probably need to win 3 to 4 gun rounds in a row to get to the point of tying this game up. It's a massive ask, but if FlyQuest can do it, why can't Wildcard? We'll have to see. For now, though, low buy out for the T side. Got 1 Deagle to work with, and 1 P250. No armor, no util. So realistically, probably no chance into this one. But for Wildcard, good opportunity to get a bit of cash. Those MP9s can farm up a little bit of that SMG kill bonus. And there it is. 1, 2, and 3. 3 in the name for Friend, 3 in the game as he mows them down.
A little bit more as well. Maybe the ace here potentially on the eco. We'd love that, but Inns will take a fight against us. Flawless for Wildcard. They are rolling here, a bit of something happening. But
this is the big one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the long road ahead as well, It's really going to be difficult from here. But this will give us a good tell. This will give us a good tell. Friends looking good for sure. That's what they want on the AWP.
It's true.
But yes, this buy, one would assume, is going to have a lot in it from FlyQuest. They have the room to take the risks.
Oh, well, a bonus round for Wildcard, of course. No casualties towards that previous, that require a reinvestment. So the triple MP9 comes back into play. And I mean, still, as his AKs and a Galil on the other side, an MP9 in the right position, the right hands, can still be a real problem. Slight bit of tank damage. JBA just gets spammed on the common angles by that Galil. Nothing really too problematic, though, at the moment. It's a slower start for FlyQuest, may I say, as they're having a look outside, taking that lobby control and just making sure that Wildcard don't regress. This would be that kind of the perfect buy to go for a lobby crunch if you're on that CT side. Triple MP9s, couple of flashes, send them in to the gauntlet, but they are playing it slower and waiting for FlyQuest to come to them.
Yeah, very much waiting. Ultimately, this is a slow roll from FlyQuest. Minimal utility remaining, only the smoke here. That's really going to be able to do anything super impactful. Ah, they dropped another one. Okay, fair enough. So yes, we do have enough for the outside roll. And Dexter is here ahead of it quite quickly, maybe looking to do something with this. It's a change-up, right? He's not trying to go down secret. He's setting himself up on the edge of mini. Flash comes in. JBA was ready for that, though. Stanislaw also finding one on his MP9, and the setup looks good here from the CT side. Everybody going down, just Vex sights, and one in the cranium.
Bonus round conversion as well. Like we said, no real reinvestments coming through, so they're building up a real nice amount of cash on hand in those back pockets. And it will mean that they put themselves in a really strong position. And again, those MP9s can come in towards the next round because you know that FlyQuest aren't going to have a buy here. No bomb plant, barely any kills. They're not going to have the funds to facilitate reinvestment. So this is big. This is where Wildcard can start chipping away at what is quite the extensive deficit here. And we will see actually a pretty early tac pools get called. But understandable for FlyQuest. They know the wealth of a lead that they built up in that first half. You know, very, very strong. 10-2, 99 times out of 100. You don't come back from one of those on a LAN environment at this caliber of an event. For FlyQuest, they look a little shakier towards that T side. And so far as well, I thought this tournament, the T sides have really been where a lot of teams have been finding strength, right? You know, setting the tone, dictating the pace of the game to your tune. And I think, yeah, Urkat's going to try and rally the troops a little bit. We're not expecting, like we said, a huge investment towards this one, but if we can get a bomb plant, go for a pop somewhere, especially now they've got Tech 9s as well, run and gun, get up in your face, that's the perfect time to do so.
Yeah, they have to keep it on, right, and not allow Wildcard to build up the all-important momentum. They've gone for something simple. Down the vent they will go. Nobody falls. Barely any damage taken even. It has cost them everything in terms of the utility, but they get down, they get the bomb plant to return on investment, and now it gets scary. Vexite with a keen headshot. Inns is in behind. Wildcard have no information to work off of here. 3 of them coming down secret as well. Really not advantageous. Inns can't get away with the gun. So at least there is that, but this is still not looking great. Big find from Friend, but a bigger trade from Liaz. All down to JBA and Stanislaw. Dexter has let them cross. He does get checked. Stanislaw head on a swivel into the 2 versus 2. There is another player coming in from behind. It's Alistair to try and stop them on the bomb. Try and distract them. This is all over the place right now. It's down to Stan, and Alistair will get him. He can't spin around fast enough. You see what it means. A big round for FlyQuest, shutting them down early on this comeback campaign.
Oh, Ali's loving that one as well. He knows how big of a round that is to be taking. Minimal investment. Tech 9's coming through, and they go for, like you said, something simple. It's a vent dive. We've all done it in our MMs, in our competitive, our premieres, or whatever. It's one of the most basic calls you can make, but sometimes simple is best, and in that instance, they did everything right in that post-spawn. They get active. They don't just sit around on the site and just wait for the fights, because they have to get up in their face, and they have to use the Tech 9 to all its advantages. On the move, up close and personal, and yeah, it's really well played from FlyQuest. Great call from Dexter. Completely catches Wildcard with their pants around their ankles, and that's a bad one to lose as well. It's giving FlyQuest so much confidence. You can see how fired up they got, and they're now only 2 rounds away from taking their opponent's map pick.
Wildcard not changing too much up here, as they do need to, yes, not lose, but also maybe make a move to force this round in their favor. Somehow, Dexter gets down below.
Yeah.
They seem very, very ready for this, though. A couple players already posted, but will they respect how quickly he's got down here, where he's going to be playing from? Friend has a shot baited out. But Dexter being down there still gives that presence. Bit of fear of the B hit as well comes in. So this is a strange game state right now for FlyQuest. What are they going to do with this position? I think even they themselves, this isn't a set round. This isn't a round that they've worked on. It's all sort of by feel and calls and guesses. But still could make something work here downstairs. Vexite with a quick find through the smoke is absolutely criminal. Friend falls on the AWP as they suddenly burst round. Dexter's ahead of the pack as Sus tries to get into position. It's a wild round and so hard to really know what you'd even call that, but FlyQuest have done well in the chaos.
Yeah, great adaptations on the fly there as well. I think Dexter does so well. He basically is calling around himself because he's got into an angle which gives them so much information. Baits out the shot from the AWP, knows that Friend's playing there rather than playing outside, for example, or deep on towards kind of heaven. So they know where he's posted up. They know they can kind of try and force him into an overextension. They do exactly that. Really well played. And I think, unfortunately, Wildcard, they don't lose that round in terms of even the small things like getting out called. They just lose their aim jewels. You know, the first one's through a smoke, which I can give them the credit. I think Vexite gets a little bit fortunate, but then, yeah, the 2 around that, It's, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Friend, I think he overextends a little bit, right? When you're with that AWP, you don't want to be pushing up the stairs if they're already down Secret in that sense. He did lose track of Dexter, and he could have been anywhere, and he just didn't expect 3 of them to be already down Secret, already up in his face. Even if he got 1 shot off there, he gets traded, the numbers still stay in favor of FlyQuest. So match point, or map point, may I say, on Wildcard's map pick, but it's in favor of FlyQuest. And they are, yeah, they're having a whale of a time. They're not really looking at all uncomfortable. And I think for Wildcard, they use their final tack pause now to try and save some face here, but this is a big task ahead. 7 rounds in a row required, and that is just to take us to overtime. It surely feels impossible.
Wildcard never really waking up into this map, unfortunately. This also feels like somewhat of a late timeout, you know.
Yeah.
Really should have come a bit earlier, you might argue. So, head's not firmly in the game on that Wildcard side of things. Maybe indeed some question marks around the nuke from us, but also themselves, right? And they might not have as deep of a strat book or experience to sort of draw from. It does feel a bit strange that this has looked very flat, as we like to say here in the booth. Some time to build up a few rounds, however, and just prove to themselves that you talked about Angels in the previous round,
Yeah.
that they can win those going into the second map. There you are, JBA downstairs, does take out Dexter. They try and respond in kind up top as Dexter makes the call. Will it be the correct one? The MP9 does a lot of damage, but doesn't secure any kills. The other MP9 comes in. Trades are here, and it's all left onto Alistair.
He knows he's got a bit of space, though. He did spot one. They were, both of them spotted, and that's his situation. But he's lost the foot race. Alistair will try and get down. Friend has spotted and tagged him. It's surely done at this point. Molotov will come down, though, at the very least, and he's not required to go B. He's got so much time to work with here. Just shy of a minute now, but this is not the worst situation in the world. Flash nade, but he's just so low. He can't afford to take a fight that is a 50-50. He has to try and find gaps and get in behind, and at the moment, it feels pretty unlikely. And Wildcard are playing this perfectly too. Neither of them are taking damage, and they're just sticking together. They don't want to give him the opportunity to isolate fights, so just play the trade game. This is all you can ask. Even if they get a bomb plant, they don't really care. It's just make sure we stick together and don't allow this guy to get two 1v1s, essentially.
He's going to stick to A. They will be in towards heaven quite quickly. They might even be able to deny the plant here. He's maybe spent a bit too much time on it. Yeah, and this is the thing with the nuke clutch situations. When you lose track of someone, just don't stop moving. And the CT side do that and indeed get the drop. So it's unfortunate. I thought for just a split second, I was like, if he drops down the vent.
Yeah, exactly.
We're on.
It's like the most complicated round in your head as well,
absolutely.
right? So bless him. It's tough, and I think the thing that he always had looming over him was just how low he was. He knows that he has to be just as unexposed as possible, and it was just never going to happen. Tough ask, but not a tough spot. FlyQuest go right back into a bye. At the end of the world. If Wildcard win this round, though, economy gets broken over towards FlyQuest, and we can start slowly talking about something. Friend, another opening kill. He's now 5 for 2 in opening duels, so he's really, in these early rounds, making a statement, and it could get even better. Sonic for one more. Good outside control as well, down to 3 in a matter of moments. FlyQuest getting, I think, just trying to force it a little bit too much here.
Potentially, I'd maybe argue as well a couple of lazy movements, right? They go ahead of those smokes outside. That's sort of like a classic pro player lack of discipline. When you're 6 rounds up and still feeling good, you feel like you can maybe get away with it, or you are indeed just overconfident. It's a nice return frag from Alistair. There's a few more going to be required here, of course. Not really happening for them. I think they're just trying to isolate some fights and get the catches, but nothing coming. Wildcard will see them off once again. Only losing 1. So if this had come a bit earlier, we'd maybe be a bit more excited for it. There's still a lot more work to be done before this gap is fully closed, and I feel like Dexter quite vocal. Think a timeout taken here. Yeah, looks that way. So they understand, they respect that this one's right on the edge of getting dangerous, especially now, as you mentioned, with their bank being not the best. So they have to stomach it here and then close it in the next one would be the idea.
But the thing is, though, don't discount the Tech 9s. They won 1 with them where they just got, so quick, and they're already down vent again. I'm assuming JBA must know he's gone down. He wasn't exactly quiet about it, but Sonic for a double. So that maybe dispels a lot of the doubts that we had of can they once again Tech9 rush around out in their favor. I'm thinking probably not now. We've got 1 to the head armor, half armor of Vexite. Alistair's not even got any sort of investment because he wants that orb.
Yeah, I mean, when you say they're down vent, it was just one that managed to get in, to be fair. So funnily enough, if maybe 2 or 3 more had gone down with him, we could have been talking about a full vent dive once again. But not the case here. Dexter hanging on the edge of the smoke. Ooh. All right, one of the attempts of all time, but he makes it. That's certainly one way to drop down the vent. That just looks so funny, though. He's like psyching himself up inside that smoke. They're just after the bomb plant here, really. Vexite sacrificing his life, in theory, to allow that to happen. Might be able to take something on the P250. Not quite enough. Alistair is nowhere near. Got his own little fight going down outside. Nearly does get the better of that. Unfortunately not. But again, happy with the return on investment.
I'm going to assume that JBA just ran out of ammo in his M4 because while
he only shot like 3 bullets.
Yeah.
I think he was just like in that sort of spamming a little bit and then maybe looked at his mini map or maybe doing a bit of a comb or something and he just was surprised by this guy that appeared out the smoke, you know.
Do you know, I'm going to say it's a confidence play. You know, you're on a pistol, I'll go on a pistol. I'll show you who's boss here. It's a little bit of a individual type thing. But yeah, you know, a round that we weren't really expecting a lot from, in all honesty, and especially because they played it slow. I think with those slight investments of the Tech9s, if you want to make something out of it, you've got to try and be a little bit audacious and then just play a default, and it doesn't end up working out for them. Wildcard up to 8, so we are getting a bit of a game here. At one point when FlyQuest had hit 12, Wildcard had only won 2 true gun rounds. Now they've won a few in a row. Another one here could be massive, flash and a boost, and that's simple as Dexter gets gifted a freebie to open things up. Yeah,
that is a naughty move. Really nice flash. Just super free kill, and that's what the CS is all about. Trying to create the easiest kills. Stanislaw spots ahead. Can't do much about it. Has to concede his position as well now that he is known. So FlyQuest probably the best position they've been in as a team in a good while here. Should be able to convert, you feel. Plenty of utility remaining, etc. So got to do something with this now. If they can't close this kind of a round, I think that's when we start to worry.
Yeah. Man advantage. Decent information as well on towards Wildcard. But Sauce will catch Liaz with that HE, so down he goes, and now the numbers are level. We'll change things. Friend, how's your reactions? Good is the answer. Quick shot from him, and he delivers. Alistair going to get caught as well, and he's looking for a second. He might just be given the opportunity with Vexite on the swing. What a find, and Stan left all alone. 1 versus 2, and the IGL's got to step up, and he's a known quantity. Says it's not an easy retake.
Rotating around towards Heaven, just sort of considering his options here. Do you want to go all the way? Do you want to go up the ladder and try and clear that? Meanwhile, in all this, Vexite has read the situation pretty well. He's going to sprint around and look to try and get the backstab eventually. That timing for Stan is absolutely insane. Whether he expects his player behind is the next question, man. Vexite just not going to panic. Maybe a bit of a step on the ladder, and Stan will save the round, the 1v2. I thought his days were absolutely over. Not going to be the case, and the game continues.
Big brain from Stan as well. He's read that to perfection. He realized this site is a little bit too empty. No one's playing out Fireheart. Nobody's playing over towards Ven, and it's a nice little 180. That timing was absolutely expert.
It looked quick. It looked quick. You know what I mean? Like the spin around. I'm not sure if in the panic
like
of the bomb being... Yeah. Because obviously it's a little bit of tech to move up those ladders at the speed that, you know, really solid movement players do. So just that one rung, you know, it could have let him down. Difficult to tell, but it seemed like he knew he was there rather than just kind of reading into it, right?
True. Was a plot for Heaven, though. So that felt like a premeditated post-plan in that sense. It just, the timing was off. The guy playing Oven has to stay alive a little longer, or at the very least play considerably more passive, maybe over towards single door, for example, and try and lock things up from there. But not to be. 12-9. We're getting a bit of a game on our hands here. 4 in a row out from Wildcard they found. And it looked like FlyQuest were on track to closing this out, especially off the back of a 10-2 first half. And now there's only 3 rounds in it, but with a bomb plant, with the kills they got, they buy back in. They got loss bonus. Loss bonus was bomb plant at this point is consistent investments. But it's not no longer what we're already looking at. We need to see them get this final round. Wildcard are putting the pressure on, but it's not a good shot from Liaz. Sonic gets a little fortunate that he can't train that crosshair perfectly, you know, get the first.
Friend in a good spot here as well to solidify the lead. Sonic is lucky there. Friend getting a bit caught, lands a tag through the box. Able to drop down though, and you know, this is all good news really, just with how strong the position of Wildcard is looking. Stush finishes off one, can't take the second, grabs the information though. What are we doing with this? Bomb is still in the hands of FlyQuest. That's literally all they have now as the final name beside Vexite goes down. 4 for him to find. Round is surely over, and Wildcard keeping the dream alive here, you would say, Neo. And I don't even know really that it matters all that much. If Vexite takes a gun or 2 away, they've built up some cash. This is looking considerably dangerous now. 2 more rounds to get it into overtime.
And now we've got the kind of the pick your poison type decision, right? Do we buy in here, even though our money's not exactly conclusive, or do we buy in towards that round number 24, the final round of the half? This is not an easy decision for, you know, Dexter to make in this spot, or maybe even Urkas if they do call for attack. So a really awkward spot in a sense. We'll see how things play out. 12 to 10 though. They are going to go for that slightly lesser investment. Tech9's back out. They've won a round on this before. So we'll see whether they can go 2, well, I guess 2 for 3 on them, because they did fail at one of them a little bit earlier. It's a slower round to start.
Yeah.
Outside smokes, but there is a pretty sizable gap there for the orb to work in his favor. He might be able to get a pop shot, and he will, Friend. Good work. Second not found, but it's JBA who spams down well, and it's all slotting into place. We're going the full 24 here, it seems, as Alistair's left on less than half HP.
Yeah, obviously the gap just gives the game away as well, right? Only 1 kill from it, but it's enough that they can prepare themselves. And especially on Nuke, that is going to be everything. With those outside smokes, is it a fake? Is it a full send? No reading or guessing required. Alistair once again in these clutch situations. It was Vexite last time around. He's looking to maybe take some money with him, actually, I think would be really, really nice for a final round or not going to happen, though. Jump scare as he opens the door. And FlyQuest, at once it looked like they'd just taken their foot off the gas. It's going to be a bit of a slower finish. It happens. You hit 12, you know, game's over, whatever, guys. But now they're no longer in control of this game, and it should go to overtime, to be honest, with the way that these rounds have been developing.
Yeah, momentum is most definitely on the side of the North American team. And on the CT side as well, they've looked completely like a different side in that sense. And for FlyQuest, pressure is absolutely on their shoulders. Now it's time to test your mettle. Final round of regulation. Round number 24, 11 to 12. Only 1 or 2 ways we go. Overtime or FlyQuest stealing the map at the final hurdle. Already in a couple of cases, FlyQuest starting to run a little low on Yuto. He's got nothing left. He has only got a flash. They burned a lot of it early and nothing's come from it just yet.
Fair few changes here as Wildcard look to really set up for an A hit with the AWP on the A bomb site as well. I think they are potentially reading into some of the tendencies here of FlyQuest. You can see, though, 4 players on the site itself. Yes, you know, Mini is eyes on outside, but all the same, they really are set for an A play. I don't think it's necessarily going to end like that. FlyQuest contacting outside at the moment, again with the L smokes here. Hopefully a little better than last time, but there's no one really around in the heaven angle to capitalize. Oh, Nick goes in for an aggressive move there, loses his life for it. Maybe the trade-off of information is going to be valuable enough, but we'll come back to that moment. It might be super impactful. 30 seconds left on the clock here. Liaz takes the AWPer down. Susp is in early. He's traded quickly. It's Dan and JBA, the dream slipping through their fingers here. The bomb not planted just yet. It's actually being faked out to try and draw them. JBA drops 1. No bomb plant coming in. 4v2 turn 2v2. That's the big kill. It's all on the young gun to clutch it.
Molly down as he tries to bait out this fight. He might just get it as well. We're going to take in the flames. He's going to try and cross and a dink on towards JBA. He catches a little bit of chip damage on towards Alistair, but it may not be enough. He is barely alive. 1 foot in the grave, and the coffins are getting nailed into place now as well for Nuke. JBA, will he clear? He won't, and it will be 13 to 11. Finest of margins, final hurdle, but FlyQuest will take Nuke. They steal away Wildcard's map pick, but my God, were they made to work for it. You thought from a 10-2 half, it was impossible to throw, but my God, did that get way too close for comfort.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, Wildcard giving us a game, Wildcard proving to us why they moved into the nuke. For a while there, it looked like this was going to go things mentally. They look to kick off aggressively here on Dust2 as we get underway. Straight up middle. No kills to come in. FlyQuest, I think, expecting it.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this map is going to go for Wildcard. I thought it was kind of so close, but so far. We'll come back to all the points in a moment as Stan and JBA get one apiece, but Vexite doubles down. And now, the numbers are in favor of FlyQuest. It might just get better. Sonic gets caught. Friend left with it all to do. Interesting point to note as well, for Friend, who traditionally plays on Permitter, Dust2's their perma. More often than not, they've played it like 5 times. It's not a map that they play basically at all for a side who play a hell of a lot of Counter-Strike. So how comfortable is he going to be? Surely he plays this in his PUGs, his FPLs, but in a team-based environment, it's a whole different kettle of fish. We'll see. For him, 1v3 feels impossible. No kit, does have armor, but no chance. Ends up close with a PT-50. We'll see it off. FlyQuest, draw first blood.
And they do so well. No real stress in that round, as it was, I would imagine, as well, an emotional ride for them. Seeing the game slip away from them on Nuke.
It's probably the worst way to lose it, right? I think you'd kind of rather, as weird as it sounds, like lose 13-3.
Yeah,
you can just kind of mentally forget about it. But when you've committed so much, you know, to getting in that comeback and get so close and then losing, it must be heartbreaking.
I would imagine so. But it doesn't happen, so it's all good, in theory. Moving into the follow-up round here, there is indeed a force buy from Wildcard. Scout over Deagles, few 5-7s in the mixture. They try and go for an early frag towards long. Doesn't happen for them. Remaining dynamic here as they will move over to short. Also, I would imagine very little opportunities to do anything here either. But at the very least, it is good energy from Wildcard once again. They're not just conceding and keeping their heads in that previous map.
Along we go. Nothing spotted. Molotov will clear cart. That's not what they have to worry about. It's about this short push that's coming through. And they're wrapping him behind. Dexter will hold for this. But it's left eye peek for him, so sometimes you see them lose this fight, and it exactly like that. Stan has the ever so slight half-second advantage on that engagement, and he makes it work in his favor. But Lia's ins are all there to start to mop them up. But 2 versus 2, this is not over.
Sonic's got himself a Galil as well. This looks pretty good here, I would say. They definitely could pull this off. Sonic trying to find that initial headshot. Molotov down as well to make Vexite's life awkward. Down goes his partner, Friend on the scout. Big frag. Wallbang headshot to get it done. The eruption from the crowd. The force buy is indeed Wildcard. And here we go, a game on our hands. As I said, the energy looked really good from Wildcard and a deserved force buy win.
Yeah, that's a massive one to be taken as well for both of them. Really, really important. You know, in that situation, Friend and Sonic play it perfect. They play together as a group, and they just know we've got to isolate fights, and they just hit some nice shots. Simple as. It was a force buy for them, so losing that would have put them at a real innate disadvantage in the start of Dust2, but that's completely flipped the script. That's a big shot from Friend. He has just a few pixels to work with, but it's more than enough. So far this tournament, we've had 4 force buys when the CTs had lost the pistol. That's the first one successful, and what a time for it.
AWP out pretty quickly as well, as Friend is not wasting any time on that. Big tag onto Alistair to kick the round off. Of course, the buy is all over the place from the FlyQuest side. Kind of have to go for it, unfortunately. Deagles looking for the early fight. Friend is ready on the boost. Simple stuff here for Wildcard. But they, again, are not going quietly. It's very, very proactive from the CT side.
It is. Alrighty. Friend. A shot up close. For a second as well, but they actually are now out up and towards short. They're trying to push down on the site itself, and they're getting pretty close. They might just plot right in the face of Stan. They're playing towards Gandalf of Ins falls. Surely we're not going to get a plot now here. Denied, and the spray transfer is sumptuous from Stan. Leaving Vexite all alone. Deagle in hand, no armor, surely no hope. JBA at range with the MP9. concludes this round with 0 casualties for Wildcard. It doesn't get any better than that when they respond with a force by of their own, and you just don't give them the luxury of the kills. Great round, Wildcard. They take a lead. And for the first time as well.
True.
First time this entire match, they take a lead.
Yeah, it's funny to think, but that is indeed the truth. Big round from Stan. Big round from Stan. Absolutely brilliant stuff, as I spoke about. A really key component of this team, obviously, but of this kind of bounce back. He's going to be the guy that's been here many a time, I would imagine. Many an underdog situation. Stan, a legend in his own right, but sort of feels like his career has been an uphill battle for a long time. Never quite fitting into his teams and rosters. Maybe Wildcard's going to be the place to do it, especially alongside the young gun of JBA for all 5. Yes, sir. Keep him coming, he says. Fantastic stuff to get him on the board.
Now, while they're ecos, and we can talk about, you know, the quote-unquote lack of impact or whatever, you know, I had a little conversation just upstairs with JRT in the green room, and we haven't seen enough, I think, from JBA so far throughout this tournament. For somebody who plays a lot of high-impactful roles, who's thrust into star positions, he's not been playing that well throughout this tournament. We've primarily been looking at players like Sonic, for example, who's been really consistent all the way throughout, stands at his moments in the fragging department, and of course, Friend in that previous map. But we needed JBA. He went a little bit missing in towards that previous map. That's a good way to boost his individual confidence. We need to see a good map out from him, but especially against the guns. That was just pistols, but it's a good start.
It is a good start. I think it does wonders for your confidence. It's a good feeling. We might talk about it from a very pragmatic point of view in terms of that impact, but it feels good to find all 5, especially in quick succession. Short control coming in here. I'd say FlyQuest, for the flow of the map of Dust2, actually getting up here quite fast. So Friend does have to be careful. Might think he's in at good time. Surely no one's crossed, etc. And there it is. He loses his head. Thankfully, big man JBA is in to defend this A-bomb site, buy some time for his teammates to hold things down. Stanislaw gotta find a well-timed peek here. Molotov forces him into it. He still takes his time on it. Will spot no one there. Will start to warn Susp. And now the B hit is on its way.
Smoke actually expertly timed. They're going to have to go through this at least a little bit. One gets out just in front before the plume, and he will get his, but Inns will trade, and now they've got the B site, and this is not an easy retake. B site Dust2, statistically one of the hardest sites to retake in CS2, and this is really tough. They just not got the util to work with. Stan's got a kit, but he's low. A 2 versus 2 with deep in routes in towards his post plant. This is not an easy one to try and pull back in your favor as Wildcard will be split up and divided in this push. They're going to try and go at the same time as well. And what a shot from Sonic. Stan spotted in towards the window. Sonic waiting for his time to peak. And oh my, Sonic, what a time to shine. We've sung this guy's praises. And what a moment for him. That is a beautiful 2v2 retake converted. And all off the back of Sonic's crisp, clean shots.
Yeah, this is the wild card that we saw. The wild card that beat M80, really, and surprised us pleasantly. They have managed to find their feet quite quickly on Dust2, and it looks very, very good indeed. Rounds like that as well. Those are the key swing rounds, the against the grain, against the trend kind of moments. B-bomb site really, really is an indictment of the post plant there from FlyQuest, unfortunately. So bomb goes down. They potentially could have gone for a buy here, actually. It may not have had too many AKs in it, but it wouldn't have been the ugliest thing in the world. They decide to go down the middle instead.
Yeah, it seems like they want to prioritize Alistair getting that AWP out, which I can understand. Dust2, very AWP prevalent map as well. Oh, got 4-1 though. Exactly what you want to see. Starting off in towards your CT side with strength and looking like the side that was of the second half of Nuke, not the first half. That's exactly what we wanted. It just felt like they actually just took a while to warm up in towards the series. But if this is now Wildcard to kind of bring us to the rest of the series, who knows? We could even see a repeat of what happened against M80. They lost map 1 and reverse sweep this. Sonic for 2, looking for 3. Hello, he'll get it. Sus, one of his own as well. And Liaz left all alone. Nice shot from him though. Pure instincts, and he'll get it, but surely a 1v4 now afterwards feels too big an ask. Sonic walks away with a monstrous round.
Okay, we got the front row boys. They are absolutely loving it. Yeah, I think rightfully so. This is a revitalized Wildcard. I think I was chilling after the map. I was like, this one's probably over. This one's probly over. The
Just because Dust2 looks so good.
Yeah, exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. That's a big part of it is the fact that I think that the Dust2 was maybe a map that FlyQuest worked on just to have solidly and fresh in their minds coming into this tournament. That's what it looked like. Maybe, arguably, the BB game could have been a flash in the pan. Maybe we're seeing a bit of that now. And maybe, of course, putting your best foot immediately forward on the very first map. It's all tactical because that leaves them with the most recent tape to work from. Why was it so dominant? And the brains behind Wildcard can clearly lay it down. There is also the other side of the coin where we've had JBA on an ace, Sonic on a couple multi-frag rounds already in this game, actually. So it could also just be the fact that it's Dust2 and individuals run rampant here. Liaz out early will manage to hide away. I did think that this is a bit of an interesting smoke. They've pulled it out a couple of times, actually. It seems like it's some sort of bait play. It's worked very well in this one. Dexter activates on B as well. So an aggressive round from FlyQuest against the code for them. Moving out long, it's really not a fun area at the moment. On this iteration of Dust2, they find great success. It's an advantage. It's plenty of control. Dexter's almost done a full loop of the map.
Yeah, a two-pronged attack. A little bit out towards B, a little bit out towards A, and they just get all the space, all the information to work with. Dexter, gets one more of his catcher's friend. Sonic for him, I mean, for Wildcard, they're not exactly low on funds. So even if Sonic was to fall here, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But it's still probably one of those things for me where I don't know if you're going to even give this a go. A 1v3 or retaking, it feels a little bit like a waste, but exit kills aren't bad. Get the first. Is this going to be a commitment play, or is he actually going to give this a look in? Rotates out towards long, has a kit, has nearly a full battle of util, but it still feels like with how he's slowing things down and all the rest, that this isn't. This is just him looking for exits for the most part. Bomb halfway ticked now, just shy of 20 on it. I think we are just calling for the exits. He's kind of set up in the right place for it. One back turn, the other there as well, and he's making this expensive. Sure, FlyQuest are going to take the round, but it comes at quite the hefty price.
Yeah, if there was someone holding long and he wins that fight, I think he definitely speeds up. But obviously, as soon as he steps, as soon as he runs, he gives away the element of surprise. So not much that can be done. As you say, it is that sort of silver lining type moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's still going to be a buy here, but it's actually going to be potentially a little bit uncomfortable. There might be somebody you have to drop in towards a Galil if they want the full bet of util. So that could be relatively interesting. I know money was a little bit low on Alistair, for example. So yeah, we do get that Galil out. It's Vexite who's going to wield it. Alistair gets his orb. He's 0-7 so far, so it's not exactly been the easiest of starts for him. Had his troubles as well in towards that first map where Friend was top fragging over towards Wildcard. He looks very comfortable on Nuke, and he's been okay so far. It's primarily been the riflers who've been pulling this team up for the CT side. So Friend, this is a big kind of head-to-head for him. It feels like he's in the driver's seat right now. He does look like a little bit more of a comfortable player, despite being the stand-in.
Liaz is in a really dangerous spot. 3 players all around him. So he's going to have to play his kind of info game, I would imagine. Weird sort of setup once again from both sides. In terms of these smokes, Vexite uses it to his advantage. Still a man advantage for the double AWPing CT side here. Nade doesn't really do an awful lot of damage. Bomb has gone down. Double AWP on the retake, never really ideal. More nade damage, but again, not really all that much. Dexter in behind the headshot box will get one, looking for a bit more. They're giving him the chances. Support is here as well, down to a 2-on-2, but I mean, this is not looking good. Combined HP of 51 for these 2 CTs. A fake flash sort of thing wasn't meant for him. It seems to have worked. Tap on the bomb, hold on the bomb should be enough. And they will indeed pull it over the line. A very, very close fought battle considering the 4-on-3. But as I said, those AWP slow down proceedings. Sus stressed out of his mind after that one, but they will get it.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Alistair as well, he goes over towards long, expecting the rotation, at least one of the 4 players to come from that position to basically play for a split on that retake. But they just group up as a 4, all coming through CT and short, all coming from one direction. And because he's so out of position, the bomb's not planted for him. So even if he'd got, you know, he was a little bit closer, it still feels basically impossible. Miss flash there from Sonic. Not the end of the world. Friend, though, he potentially could be under a little bit of pressure. They're going through the flames as well, and it might not favor them. 1 for 1. Molly will go out, and Dexter goes up on high. That's a really good change up in the levels there to catch the AWPer off guard.
No smoke on the doors, though. No smoke on the doors. Trying to bait them in. Dexter is stuck behind closet. Somehow it has worked out. What the hell is going on in this round? I mean, FlyQuest have strewn some chaos. Dexter gets a little lucky. It felt like they did have the position. They did have the nades. But he, in all that carnage, just managed to, you know, absolutely paint the picture for his team. So very well done from the IGL. A wild round, it is safe to say, from FlyQuest. I believe a timeout here, rightfully so. I think both teams will benefit from chilling. May well be more technical in nature. We got a little referee getting involved.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I did see Vince talking there for a second.
Yeah.
So my assumption was that this would be a wildcard tack, just because things started well. They don't want to let it slip. They don't want to allow Wildcard to spiral. You know, the Death touched on it. We touched on it a little bit. It was 8 rounds in a row for that kind of that first half. Oh, the first half of the first map, and it was a really solid showing from FlyQuest. And they just don't want to allow them to put up those sort of numbers again, or even get that snowball rolling, because they're quite difficult to stop once they get going. But looks like we're all getting ready to go, I think, in a moment. Stoic at the moment for Stan, though, to get things back underway. 6-3. If Wildcard can guarantee a lead on this CT side, that would be good. We've gone for the Force Buy. AWP, M4, MP9, 5-7 and a Deagle. Not the easiest of buys. You've got to play a little bit off the cuff here. You've got to be a little bit audacious, and that's what they're going for. But it's the low man of Sonic going in first, and the trade isn't bad, but the answer back from Vexite's better.
Yeah, FlyQuest with a keen opportunity here to really close this gap. Another B side, by the way, something that a lot of teams have been very, very scared of. FlyQuest liking the B side, it feels. Works for them initially. Can they close out the round, however, is, of course, the big question. Deep position from JBA on his Deagle. Should get checked, but you see the shadows here, so it can really be a skill fight. In's trying to bait him in, trying to spam away. Does he hear any damage going down? The answer's going to be no. Flash is good, and Inns will find the kill. Just Friend and Stan remain then, so not looking too good. Bomb's actually going to rotate around. Dexter ready for this. Pre-fires there from Stan, but they're expecting A. As you can see, the cross smoke comes in as well. That will sell it, and the B-bomb site should be taken. Yeah,
Inns may have A, but he's a lurking presence here. And they're going to go for a split on the retake, it seems. Will Inns be cleared? Will he get his shot? Oh, it's a little labored from Inns. Uncharacteristic, because down he goes. 2 versus 2, just as that bomb goes down. So time is there to work with for Wildcard, but they don't have a kit. Keep an eye on this. Friend doesn't have armor either. So this is a really precarious engagement, and one which Stan doesn't fare too well in. Nice little peek out there from Alistair. Gets his, and Friend, without that armor, he is not giving this one the time of day, which I think is absolutely fair enough. Money is going to be a little bit distraught over towards Wildcard in this next. For Friend, he's basically going to be the only one with any sort of investment. He might pick up a little bit of armor to go around it. It might be one of those where they use the pistols to try and facilitate fights for him. But we'll see. Either way, though, FlyQuest up to 4. Breathing down the neck now of this Wildcard side as they're looking to tie this one up before heading in towards that second half. And that would be big. Doing that on T side especially would really give them a bit of a leg up, you'd feel like, in the map.
Some really nice moments actually coming in from both sides, to be honest. Few pre-fires, few really solid flashes from FlyQuest. So it's good to see, I think, the level of the Counter-Strike definitely elevating as we've gone into the semi-finals. Much, much tighter ship from both sides, particularly FlyQuest, I have to say. Wildcard, they are in the lead here, but it still feels like they're really battling in every single round. Dink lands. trying to sell that there's only one, I suppose. Flashes coming in from both ends. Another peek on the USP. They really just want one or two players to send themselves in and let this AWP get into the mixture. Obviously, FlyQuest playing a much safer game than that.
Yeah, the only issue as well is that they were peeking one by one. If those first two pistols went together, there might have been an idea behind that, but not to be. Ins in the smoke, through the smoke. Friend, quick reaction. Ins will get caught. I don't know if they're really even going to consider this round, basically. You know, Friend's got AWP, half armor, not exactly a lot of money left over. Sosna got an AK. I don't think we're really giving this one a look in. I think we're going to keep out of what we've got and try and utilize these premium guns in towards the next round to try and lock in a 7-5. But it will be FlyQuest now, just one away from tying the game up before heading in towards that second half and actually recovering quite well from what was a bit of a bad start as well. They were 5-1 down at one point. Looking a lot healthier. P250 sticks around. Stan will get his. Wins out the IGL head-to-head. He really wants that AK, but he's so scared about peeking out. He doesn't realize that he actually would be free to go and get it if he wants. I think he's probably hoping that the bomb will kind of blow it in his direction. And he should be okay. Let's see. There it is. And look at it. So, all good. Actually, 2 AKs and the AWP saved. Not bad heading into the final round, but it's all well and good having the guns. You've now got to make this round stick. If we get a 7-5 for Wildcard, we're feeling a lot more comfortable. It gives them room to work with. We know they have some clean XCs when it comes towards their pistol rounds as well, and T-type pistol in particular could be quite spicy. Who knows? But the one thing that is still looming for me and worrying is it was the T side of Wildcard that let them down. You know, they only got 2 rounds on it, and it wasn't exactly by any means competitive in 90% of those rounds. So we need to just hope that that first half of them just warming up and actually they've got an idea about how to make this Dust2 stick. But we'll see. As we do get a bit of attack pause in a moment for a conversation. The Vins as well, it's stressing the importance of taking a slight lead in towards that second. And for Urkas, it's about, you know, completing this recovery, giving them space to work with. Jumping across. AWP will spot one, but Friend gets a clear cut over towards B. Ooh. Good opener from Vexite off the back of that flash.
Nice return from Stan. Nothing else to come off the back of the corner, though. They will, again, on the FlyQuest side of things, just send a lot of players to a lot of different spots. Really confident in their individuals to win out some fights. And as if by magic, 2 at once in 2 different spots on the very same map. So there you are. Numbers looking good. Dexter in towards short. Not necessarily going to be needed. It's all down to Friend. Where has this come from? A super aggressive round on all counts from FlyQuest. And they've not lost really a single gunfight apart from that one towards the very tail end. So that's one way to close things out. The lead isn't there for Wildcard. The comeback is for FlyQuest. And the Counter-Strike continues in a few minutes. much closer affair here on Dust2, as close as it gets, in fact. The pistol will split the difference to begin the second half. Wildcard fighting to stay alive against all odds, and, well, they will kick off pretty cleanly. Flash comes over the top, just finding not one but two, and suddenly there are only two for FlyQuest.
As mentioned, Wildcard do have pretty clean executes when it comes towards their T-side pistol. This is a pretty important fight as they both just walk into Sonic. I don't think he really even expected the second, but the bullet connects nonetheless. And Wildcard taking an important one. They have actually had some clean moments on those pistol rounds, and that's another one that goes in towards the tally. Very good teamwork, play off each other, and hit the shots, simply as. And it'll be them taking that slight lead back in their favor. They were 5-1 up, half-ended 6-all. They started off their T-side well, and we're a little bit hesitant as well about this T-side just because of how weak it was over towards Nuke, right? 2 rounds out of a possible 12 is what they got on Nuke on their map pick, so it wasn't exactly the most defiant of showing. Hey, 4 spikes come through, and already the frags are going in favor of Friend.
Yeah, looking pretty clean here, as you would expect. Once again, out via long, it's really good to have that kind of conditioning, I think, early on in the game, to be like, okay, as a CT side, we have to pay a bit of attention to long and expend some utility there. Ooh, Vexite. Weird position. Yeah, I think there's potential he could have caught someone off. It ends up being the other way around. He gets caught. So nothing coming. Alistair to hold the cross here. Oh, okay. Lands the tag. Fair. It's not going to do anything, but it's cool to see a flick like that land. All the same, he'll be saving into the next.
Yeah, that'll be that. Saving if he can, though. I'm just worried about whether he gets hunted here. Friend seems to have a fairly decent idea about what he wants. In towards Pit, Friend waiting for his opportunity. The Eagle and a Scout would like to move on towards the next, being this a force as well. There shouldn't be a bide, really, for FlyQuest in towards the next, and that step would have been heard by Friends, and now they can start to swarm. They smell blood in the water. These sharks are hungry. He's probably in trouble, and he is. Friend, good round. He started off with 2, and he finishes with 3 right at the end there. Nothing saved, nothing gained for FlyQuest, and a 2-round lead that Wildcard now hold. This is okay. This Dust2 is looking considerably cleaner than the T-side of Nuke already.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just that big question of whether it does continue for them. FlyQuest, such a really, really almost like perfect map of Counter-Strike against VB to begin their ESL Challenger run. So they do have it in them, for sure. Wildcard also proving that they've got it in themselves. Once again, pressure at long might not win them the round out and out, but it does get them that first kill here. There is a lurk coming in. Liaz behind here to try and get the catch. Sonic is aware. He is absolutely dialed in here on Dust2. Mac 10 does get bested, so there's your 1 kill. Just gotta be careful not to give this guy the $600 kill bonus, really. Friend is low. Don't get too giddy, I think, considering, yes, it's only 1 player, but it is that Mac. He's baited Friend into the fight. He will win it, so there you are. Money made. He's back round for some more, he says. Still sticking in, trying to, again, bait another fight with the sound cues. Round definitely over, but this is, you know, $900 kill bonus coming in for Vexite thus far. Surely not at this range with no armor, and he knows it, so maybe a Mac 10 player in the next round?
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing out through upper tunnels, so not actually the worst place to have a Mac 10 either. If you can try and get up close there, go for a bit of an upper tunnels pop, it could be something, but we're speaking as if he was surviving, and he doesn't. And he goes right at the end there. So, this is good. 3 rounds ahead of FlyQuest in the spot that they're currently at. Getting ever closer to potentially pushing us towards a decider. And that decider was the map we wanted them to pick into. That Anubis, a map we know they can play good Counter-Strike on. So it could be a very spicy tail end to the series if it does go to a 3rd. Not there yet, but all is in the court of Wildcard for sure.
It absolutely is. The cross was dangerous. No heads lost. Tit for tat on the nades here. As Wildcard more set up towards B. Seems these teams are not afraid of this B-bomb site. Not quite as cookie cutter in terms of their T-side approach, which is nice to see.
Yeah,
to
refreshing.
be honest, I will not lie. Mid to B smoke coming in. It looks like they will indeed act upon it. Small failure potentially. I think that was maybe meant to land cleaning. Maybe it was a bait. It felt like Sus was ready for that fight. Doesn't happen. He loses his life early.
Ali plays anti. Can't get a shot, but he gets out alive, so he'll take that. And reposition over towards Ram. JBA still lurking towards upper tunnels, but he does have the bomb, and he's isolated, so he does need to be careful not to do anything too audacious or not to lose his life. As Vexite started to go aggro, this could be actually quite awkward. JBA does get the support rotating back over. Stan doubles back, gets his. Vexite, second time now he's been caught pushing either through or in upper tunnels in the last couple of rounds. The time's taken 30 seconds. This feels like they're setting up still for that mid to B, but I say that, and the bomb rotates back over towards Xbox with a bit of a push coming through. Yeah, they're going back towards A. Bomb going to go via short, 2 out via long as well, and there's 2 players from FlyQuest to meet them.
Stan will find Alistair. The AWP shot misses over there. Liaz trying to hold the line and unfortunately thought he was, maybe a bit more hidden, a bit more protected than he actually was. So this is looking good here for Wildcard. Bomb going to go down. Dexter really the only damage dealer left. And they call it. They will move to save. Wildcard going to hit 10 before FlyQuest have got anything in this second half. Really, really impressive stuff. And looks set to continue even with the save. I don't know that FlyQuest will get a lot in terms of the weaponry of the next. Dexter, he kind of knows it really. Trying to take some guns away himself. Yeah, so by all accounts, should be 11 for Wildcard on the verge of it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, money's going to be broken here, so you're spot on. I don't really see them, try to tempt fate with an investment around the AK. If it was like an AK and an AWP, I could understand it, but even with the loss bonus here, I think more often than not, teams would half buy this around the AK and then full buy in towards the next. But it's tough. It does feel at the moment, the way things are setting up for FlyQuest, that they're on the verge of potentially even trying to play for overtime, which is never a situation you want to be in. Obviously, Wildcard were close, in all fairness, but as you mentioned, the cosmetic comeback, as we like to call it, all for show, but wasn't there in the end. A good round, and I think a really good kind of mid to late call coming through as well from Stan to double them all back over towards the A site, especially when there'd already been B aggression in towards tunnels. Stan catches Vexite, and a lot of players and IGLs would make a call immediately off the back of that and be like, right, one's dead towards B. There's surely either no one on B site itself or like a Doors player who's come from the mid position, so it should be weaker. But Stan doesn't fall for the ruse, and thank God he didn't, because there was one more up close ready to take those fights. So good work. I am seeing bits of an investment, but like you mentioned, it does feel like that half buy around the AK rather than the full investment. So 2 MP9s and a couple of great pistols. Dexter, what the hell is that? The revolver. Yeah, the R8 has come out for Dexter. It's not often you see that. Funnily enough, the only other person I've seen that in a pro game recently is Stan. And that's why you don't pick it up, ladies and gents. It is ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. It looks pretty cool on the hood, I'll give it that. It looks like a real, cowboy revolver.
Yeah.
That's where the fun ends with that, though, I think.
Don't feel like one.
Yeah.
You'll remember the first 3 days of it, though.
Yes, well, of course. That was a good time. That's what we're all trying to get back. Yeah, no. Looking good here for Wildcard. They will clear out the B-bomb site, clear out the middle area, break that smoke. Alistair left alone. Down he goes. Quick one for Wildcard. Exactly how you want to play a round like that. Yes, you're expected to win, but you want to just completely shut it down, because your opponents, they're being realists. They're like, okay, not expected to win this, but, maybe we take a gun away. Maybe we, try this bit of aggression that we've been thinking about doing, but it's quite risky. Let's see how it goes. And they just get flattened. Absolutely no room to maneuver here.
It's true. Wildcard looking great, though. This is the buy. This is the big one from FlyQuest. Lose this, and we're probably losing the map, and it's really awkward, actually. In fact, Sonic semi-panics. He should go down here, and he will. It's the HG of Dexter, and Inns will come in to support and get one of his own. It felt like Sonic was guaranteed with that kill, but then sort of in 2 minds about should I even fight here. Little does he know how blind Dexter actually was.
Potentially the first one for FlyQuest 5 versus 3 should be closable. There is utility left. There is an AWP left, and Friend has been playing very, very well, actually, as we opened proceedings saying, you know, not a map that this stand-in typically plays with his usual team.
Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely plugs it. He definitely plays it in
He's
FPL.
having a bit of fun here. The round's not going to be won out. He's the only one to find a kill, but the flashiest kill of Dust2 so far. A lot more work to be done, of course, by FlyQuest, but at the very least, they stopped them hitting that all-important 12, right? There is still this last required box to tick, let's say, for the wildcard side. FlyQuest could definitely get their claws in here.
Frustrations on himself, but it was quite a cool little jump in towards CT. I think to expect anything more would be a little bit outlandish. It was already a lost round at that point. Friend, he will get out. He gets given this. And not really wanting to test them, and understandably so. The long control from Wildcard, bar that previous round, has actually been really good.
It is true. This round, FlyQuest not opting to contest. Yeah, they've got the old major smoke here to just keep them at bay. Friend, though, he knows what's up, that usually this smoke is kind of a facade of defense. So he goes through it. He finds the opener, Wildcard, in prime position. Information being gained by Vexite, however. So I think they'll be more and more ready for the A-hit here.
Sosp holding for a bit of either short, top mid, or Xbox aggression. That angle does hold them all, and he actually might get a chance. He moves a little bit deeper in towards mid, but Vexite, he's already been caught overextending a couple of times, but I think in FlyQuest's current position, they have to do something. They can't just sit around and wait for the bodies to come to them. He doubles back over towards upper tunnels, and he might be tempted. This is actually keeping an eye on that minimap. That could be quite an important fight. If Sus can win that out, or even if he gets this space, he's actually caught a bit of timing, but no, Vexite holds him. He nearly had the best flank going if Vexite was looking the other way.
Not the case, though. Break of the smoke comes in. That felt like it was actually from the T side, and it's worked out in favor of the CT end. All the kills going in favor of the Blues. It's Friend that remains to try and pick up the pieces. There's not many of them left on the ground, and unfortunately he gets flanked out by Ins. Big round from him, holding that impassable line on the A-bomb site. So, some steam here. Considering they were down a man, it's a pretty good recovery.
Exactly. This is now starting to get quite spicy. FlyQuest, these last few gun rounds have actually looked very clean. They've got a really good lock-in towards the A site, and that's where maybe they're kind of training this wildcard side to eventually go for a bit of a B pop, and that's where they can try and catch them off guard. Friend, good opener. Alistair, he tried to test him down range, and it doesn't work out. Had a slow start to the map. He was 0-7 at one point before he got his first kill. And he still hasn't exactly recovered personally, as he's 8-13. All good for that first. The pistol, the only pistol at JBA. They trade slight tags.
Nate does a bit more damage. They need a kill back, though, on the FlyQuest side. You know, chips here or there is not going to do it. We always like it. It gives us something to talk about, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of where this round needs to be, Dexter will take a big tag. So again, Wildcard set themselves up nicely. Later on in the round, that's going to come back to bite the Aussie in the backside.
For a guy whose team permabanned this map, Friend is looking pretty good right now, 19-9. He's really warmed up in towards this tournament. His first map or two, you could even argue, weren't exactly that great. He looked quite nervous, which understandably, you know, he's coming towards the team. They spoke about, you know, Stan spoke about it quite honestly, saying, we've not pracked for this tournament. We're not preparing for it. We're just all eyes focused on the RMR. And, you know, we haven't had time to, or we don't really want to play the pracs with Friend. We're focusing on what matters most. And, well, doesn't look like it. Not at the moment. Especially not against M80 yesterday. Vexite slips the net, but only goes 1 for 1. And that's not good enough, because the numbers stay in favor of Wildcard, and they've got the B site now.
It's got to be a save, really. That is very unfortunate. If they had Alistair back, if they didn't have that gap in mid and he gets a flash through that smoke, it really could have been big. Maybe we're not saving as Friend keeps them coming. Spotted out Dexter here as well, so I think the hunt is going to be on. This is a really big 12th, therefore, to land. on the wild card end, because the buy in the next, I think it'll be present. There's going to be a couple players missing. However, Dexter trying to hold on to this all-important AWP, will lose his life at the cost of a frag. So there you have Wildcard moving up to 12.
Fella's loving it.
Yeah, the
He's
energy
loving
picking up, the energy picking up. And maybe that's going to be a big part of it here. We'll get to chat to them regardless of what goes down here and just get a bit more information out. I would imagine that the energy is something that is really positive, you know, in these kind of smaller crowds, but it's a bit more intense and everything, just to hear every voice in your favor, and you can see it is playing off
as well.
Yeah,
because I mean, even if you just mirror their opening game to that game, you know how nervous he looked at the start and how confident he looks now, and it's obviously showing in his performance. However, just as we're kind of bigging him up a bit, he does get caught off guard. My Dex, this is a B pot. Vexa's got to go huge here. He has the spawn of Arslan, will get his, gets the second as well. Massive. So game not done just yet. 12-8, probably gonna be 9. Stan has got to pull off a 1 versus 4. Even the first is a big ask. He doesn't take any damage, but his position now known. And without the bomb, sure, he's got a minute 15, but this is just nigh on impossible. And the big thing as well is that for the T-side, despite the wins they've been having and maybe the back and forths you can talk about, they don't have loads of money, right?
Yeah.
They're still in a position, just Leah's completely unaware of that potential, but they're still in a position where, you know, Friend's not really going to have a buy-in towards the next round because they're on min-loss bonus. Yeah, it's going to be weird how they want to go about this because JBA can buy in, Sonic can buy in, so can Stars. So Friend maybe just goes into like a scout. He doesn't mind picking that up. I'd assume a buy is what I'm saying, but
it's not over yet, man.
it's true.
Stan,
the thing is, you lose the buy. We're talking about then again going towards like 23, 24 rounds at least.
For sure.
We asked the gods, the CS gods, for some close games,
we did.
right?
We did.
You know, for those who've been tuned in all weekend, we've had all the one-sided ones. Yeah.
But when I do, it's for Counter-Strike.
I think Stan's going to just try and keep this AK alive. I think that, like I said, you know, for Friend with his money just a little bit feeble, it's just not worth losing it.
Yeah.
Let's just have something to fall back on. He won't need to reinvest in towards the armor. He can drop something over. It can be okay.
I think it's quite clever, though, in a sense that, you know, he obviously had so much time to save with. Like, the proactive save to just kind of make them think that he's still giving it a look in, still going for it. It's kind of smart, actually.
Because look at the other side. In the previous round, Dexter did a not proactive save, and he just got hunted, right? If he had got moving and actually if he kind of, you know, taken that pop shot when he was over towards ramp and then immediately ran towards long, gone over towards, you know, a CT spawn or whatever and started like running around, maybe something could have worked around, or gone over towards T spawn and trying to hide somewhere there. But you are right. It gives you sort of, you're in control of it.
Yeah, it's a bit funny how it works, especially on like a T to CT situation, you know, the T player saving. It's like, obviously they can still win that round. It's a bit different the other way when it's like, okay, he's on the A bomb site, we've planted B, we kind of know where he is. Even if he is, moving around or being annoying, we can still shut it down.
Exactly.
So I just think it's a bit of a, you know, cool thought experiment of maybe changing up the saves slightly, just being proactive.
And he got a kill with it, so
it's true.
Take it every day of the week. As expected, Frank goes in towards that scout. And it will be 1 Deagle, 1 Galil, and 1 AK to join Stan's saved one. So they did go for that force sort of as predicted, but it's just about how well this goes. You lose this, and we are talking about them potentially going the distance. That'd be FlyQuest up to a 10th. Wildcard with no money, so they probably get an 11th. And then again, we hit that round 24 sort of vibe. So Wildcard, they do have that pressure on their shoulders, which they need to be careful of. They also don't have a lot of util either, so they can't exactly do the bait and switches that they like to do in these rounds.
Very quickly out mid here from some of the Wildcard boys trying to gather that information. Once again, it is the mid to B play, but they have a slightly more unorthodox smoke around it. It's not worked for them in the past. Here it is also a bit strange. Just gets traded out quickly, ready for some kind of a B play. Vexite does well to even find one. 3-on-3, but the bomb is slowly alone. I don't know, this is just so strange. The tag comes through the doors. There's damage done everywhere onto Wildcard, but with control of the B bomb site, they have the upper hand. Friend finishing off 2. It's all down to the Aura of Alistair. He's back here throwing smokes, man. There's nobody around to help him. He does take one with the molly, finishes off the low HP friend, brings it into the one-on-one. Stan, though, plays the patience game and will catch him. Head turned, so well secured in the end. Wildcard, they gave us a fright, but they've given us a third here now.
Yeah, we're going the distance as well. Just as things went against M80 yesterday, lose the opening map, take the second, push us towards a third, and we've already slightly delved into it, how that Anubis is a map on paper that feels...
But underway we get. Grand final spot on the line, and the first headshot lands. The second headshot comes in from Dexter. P250 ready to fight here. There's only 3 suddenly remain for Wildcard. The pistol prowess that they've had in this series seems to have fallen off. This does not really look all that defensible for the CT side. They've lost the A site. They've got a low HP player. Inns may well just be able to end it here. He's spotted out Sonic at the very least, so days are numbered. Can he take anyone with him? One is the answer. FlyQuest kickoff pretty clinically there.
Yeah, it's not a great pistol round from Wildcard. They just get isolated. Dex the complete other side of the map, and it's actually just a very simple pistol, all things considered. So, not what we wanted to see from Wildcard off the back of what was a very good map. You'd hope that they can continue that consistency in towards map number 3, the map that we wanted them originally to pick into. But there's also probably another side of this, where for FlyQuest, they probably expected Anubis, the way that we expected Anubis, and maybe they've done their prep for this. This is a map which has had its weaknesses at times for the Aussies. But coming in towards this event, something that they may have cleaned up, especially for this matchup in particular. If they did expect Wildcard to pick into it, they're going to understand how they play it. We do have the force out for Wildcards. I'm always not really a fan of this. See if it pays off. Triple MP9, 557.
3 on B. Could be the correct call. We'll see. It's a very wide default here from FlyQuest. They're not really over exerting themselves. Not looking to pinpoint a particular area of the map. They're expecting something to come their way. They might be correct later on into the round. It does seem there's some shifts from the CT side, but not an awful lot. It's more setup-based. Flash is nice. JBA blinded up. Friend takes the early fight. JBA can't back him, so Inns makes it out. JBA does actually catch Vexite, maybe straggling a little. So 4 versus 4 in a low HP Inns. It's not bad for Wildcard.
It's not. I mean, Inns basically feels like he's one foot in the grave. Oh, in the flames, yeah. Gonna fall. Sauce, that's unfortunate. Stan goes a little early there as well. If he was closer, Liaz, that feels scarier. But Sonic, it's a big, big ask for him with this MP9. Now he's given away his position. Will he even get one is the big question here. Dancing on the pillar, dancing around backside, and there's just too many people to look at, and he couldn't do it. Last man should be dead, and the flash is pin perfect. Down goes JBA, and a failed force by a lot of damage, but actually only just 1 kill, so it doesn't really net them anything.
Yeah, man, it's very unfortunate. The weaponry seems like the difference there for sure. Maybe if, again, they stuck around to help each other out on the B-bomb site rather than that early aggressive move from Stan, like you say. Benefit of hindsight and all that, but yeah, it is unfortunate when the dust kind of settles. We can say, damn, one more clean spray down or one more like MP9 rather than 5.7. Could have actually won that out for them. But bitter pill to swallow. Swallow it you must. Move into the next, and nothing to be expected here. A few deagles. You give us 1 kill, 1 saved AK would be really good. Dexter holding things nicely here. Spotted out a few more. He knows his job. Just keep their attention on him while the rest of the team goes prodding and poking.
Well, for him, he's done a good job of just getting a little bit of damage and keeping attention drawn over there, but just as they do that, the B-side's taken already. The bomb's come now to join them. This should be a very simple round. I don't even know if they're going to kill out of this, in all honesty. They're kind of playing all the way further back. There's a bit of a belt of util on Alistair as well. Now he's got that bomb down, so they can drop a, a smoke and a molly and just secure this and not give them any chance of making it expensive. You don't want to feed the deagle. You don't want to do that, friend. We'll find his. Alistair with the utils, the 1 to 4, but Vexite double with the MP9. Then gets traded as well, down to 2, and it's USPSs. It's asking a lot. It's not to be. So a couple of casualties, sure, a little silver lining. Is what it is, but it's a 3-0 start for FlyQuest. One that they really needed, especially off the back of what was a bit of a lackluster Dust2.
Liaz was so blind there, man.
Yeah.
Every time I see the flashes come in, I just think of that Tarek clip. You know, stop flashing. Probably can't say the rest of it, unfortunately.
Rest in peace, Rank S montages.
Oh,
remember that?
Don't get me started.
Yeah, ESCA Rank S, like those. I saw one recently, like someone made like a throwback thing. It's like a month old or something. Really good video. Or like Everybody Hates Brax, great video as well. Those throwback moments, that was NACS at its prime, baby. But it could be at its prime today if Wildcard can take a win here, move on towards the finals. And who knows? We're going to start those. Stan gets caught through the smoke. That's just unlucky.
Yeah, FlyQuest hearing you saying no, not today. It is Australia through and through. Little sprinkling of the Kiwis as well. Friend. Slow contact. Very slow contact. Gets fragged out from behind. Susp and Sonic will suddenly be the only two left. Wildcard, unfortunate for them, as again, they just cannot stand strong. FlyQuest seem to be really getting the better of them here.
Bomb goes down. Round will be done. Dexter does fluff his lines a little bit. So Sonic gets his. But it won't make a difference. These are just consolation kills at the tail end of things, really. One more Sonic, maybe? Yes, he'll take it. A little bit expensive, but money's not an issue over towards FlyQuest. It doesn't make a grand difference. Round is what we're needing for Wildcard. We can't let this be how Nuke started. 8-0 down and looking all over the shop, right? And
you're not going to do it twice.
Exactly. And the way, you know, in a comparative manner as well, Nuke is the most CT-sided map in the pool statistically at the moment, and Anubis is the most T-sided map in the pool. So FlyQuest get the advantageous start in towards this map, and if they can get a similar sort of amount of rounds on the board, we're talking things like 7 or 8. I mean, that's already a really good job done, and that's something that Wildcard have to deny here. They cannot allow them that sort of a luxury. Very unfortunate for Stan, as we mentioned. Dexter gets his first, but the seconds behind it are actually really solid. And they just spread out so evenly, and they put pressure on all sides of the map. Weird spot for Wildcard. All part in play, though, for Friend. He was brilliant with it in the last map. We need to see it again.
We do indeed, very much so, and we need to see it soon. Wildcard struggling, Friend making a play. They've given him the free reign to go for it. He gets an early peek. There's no one on the other side of it. Funnily enough, his flash a bit too effective, sort of scares anyone off. In through middle, come FlyQuest once again. Seems to be a pretty firm problem area for Wildcard at the moment. Trying to make a move, 1-for-1, not going to cut it. Arguably gives too much information across to the T side here. Stan does trade back. That's a big kill. That evens up the numbers. They've not really got the bomb anywhere near A, so a moment of respite for the CT side.
Yeah, maybe. Molotov as well. Depending on the timing, it's absolutely perfect. So they now splits up this T-side aggression and going 1-for-1. That molly completely pulls apart what was execute. The timing is perfect because it splits them up. So Inns goes out in front, and yes, he gets one, but there's no one there to trade out his death, but they still got the sight because, I mean, Friend's nowhere to be seen.
I know, he's really convinced there's someone near him. I don't know.
He's a long way away. It's a long time to rotate over. They do have a kit, but it's on Stan. Has to go huge here. Oh, good reaction from Stan as well. As Vexite going to get caught, and Alistair thrust into a 1 versus 2 post-spawn with an AWP is never easy. And he has no idea where this second player is, and he does not know at the moment that he's creeping up behind him. Time of the essence. Down he goes. Round finally taken for Wildcard.
Yeah, well, thank goodness Stan hit the flick of the game, you know. It gave time for Friend to come in. That long flank ends up indeed being a flank rather than just like an untimely rotation. He really seemed convinced that there was someone holding for his position. Maybe needs tightening up ever so slightly, but here they will not pay the price. It is, in fact, their first round. We might get to see them on the replays here, but Stan actually managed to find quite a few key frags. There was that one towards middle as well. So 2 out on A, really big round in from him. And that gets him on the board. That also, again, speaks to where this Wildcard team has been at. Stan, I think, has had a great turnaround over the past few days, really getting into his element.
It's true. That round looked lost from the start as well, just in the sense for Wildcard, they lost those opening fights. I thought they were maybe internally going to call it a little bit, but thankfully, they don't. Liaz, how's the reaction? Oh, it's tags both ways. Liaz takes a little bit more damage, but does he expect one's creeping out? He's not even looking close left, so he might not. That timing from Sonic is actually expert.
Yeah.
Liaz jiggle peeked, and just as he tucks his head, Sonic moves out.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get cleared here. I mean, he's doing the due diligence, and Liaz proves me wrong. Really good clearance. He definitely didn't spot him, but he knows his angles.
Yeah, just got to be careful. Knows the play, knows the wildcard as well. Seems to really be leaning on these B moves. That's unfortunate for Friend. Big miss. Stan with a trade back. Gonna need a few more of those. It is just Susp. He's yet to get a kill.
No.
He just about finds that Vex site with a ridiculous play through the Molotov. Will give them control of the site, and they are desperately trying to get it back. JBA, there's a smoke to go through. He doesn't want to fall in the footsteps of his captain. So, yeah, save call comes in. There's bits of spatterings of money. He personally has none at all here. So, makes a lot of sense. Grab that AWP, and maybe we can give it another go another day.
Yeah. I think Friend actually got slightly unfortunate. Just underflicked there. Didn't quite line it up with the doors. I think caught maybe a little bit off guard by that peak, and down he falls. If he got that kill, it actually changes the narrative of sort of how this round feels, but wasn't to be. It's still very much in the hands of FlyQuest at the moment. 5-1. Wildcard still yet to show up in this map number 3 properly on home soil. As now the hometown favorites as well, with M80's departure yesterday. We're not seeing enough out of them on a map in which they're meant to be good on. But, you know, we already touched on this. I do feel like, especially the way things are playing out so far, and especially with how FlyQuest are approaching these rounds, they've definitely seen into what Wildcard are doing in a traditional sense. Yes, it's not a traditional lineup because Friend's in the making here, but it is sort of these setups getting pulled apart, and they know exactly what to face and how they rotate and how they default at the moment. And unfortunately for Wildcard, they're just getting caught off guard. So, like you said, that AWP save gets reused in towards the next, and because of the leftover money, we sort of have an okay buy here. I think the only thing that worries me a little bit is just Util, in a sense, Wildcard likes to use quite a bit of it early, and it won't have a lot left for a retake if needed. But for the most part, firepower, that's fine. Sonic with an MP9, he can wield it.
That's what we're playing for. The trophy, of course, the lion's share of $100,000 here this weekend. Would be nice to get them straight into your bank account in dollars as well. No conversion fees needed if Wildcard are able to win out here this weekend. Still time for it. 7th round getting underway, and as you said, it is very much a nice round here. You wouldn't know how close things are kind of coming, and the save situations, and Wildcard not able to get themselves into any substantial positions here. Another lean on B from both teams. They really have been fighting and scrapping outside of B main.
I drop Molotov in towards E-Box, try and force them back, but it actually does clip the other wall, so it doesn't go exactly where expected. Sonic eats that grenade, but dropping a Molotov will try and keep them at bay. They're pushing through the smoke here. This is a big call, but Liaz, good for 1, good for 2 as well. Entry pathing was beautiful there. He sort of volleys himself, but doesn't make a difference. They've got the site. They've got E-Box control too, and already Wildcard might just call for the save here. There's not really a clear in route back in towards that B site, and it's not an easy one to retake at the best of times. Never mind where they're at now. In a 3 versus 5, no chance.
It's been hard. It's been very hard here for FlyQuest. A lot of very close fought rounds in the past few, though. It started to really ramp up, really take off. Almost clinical in nature. You have to bear in mind as well the, you know, Wildcard 1 round comes off the back of Stan's individual performance.
Yeah.
That's something that they have been able to tap into across the board. We have a few members struggling here, so this is getting very worrisome. FlyQuest playing really good Counter-Strike, though. The B bomb site, their main port of call, and it goes incredibly well in this round. No contest.
This is really good, though. Liaz looking very solid individually. 8-1 for him. Dexter not too far behind either. At 7. Pretty solid showing, all things considered. That's the crowd out here as well in Atlanta. So far, it's been a good event. I know apparently it's been quite a popular one. Saw many a crowd building up for, of course, the NA Derby yesterday. Also for the most recent celebrity going around at the moment.
Yep.
Showing off the DreamHack.
Yep.
Haley Welch. I think I pronounced that right. I think that's her name.
Are you a fan?
How can, like, of what, I guess?
Incredible. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. That tells you all you need to know, I suppose. But
Avid listener of the Talk Tour podcast, Scriv, over here.
Yeah, well, indeed.
Special guest episode 4, coming out next Wednesday.
Yeah, giving our thoughts on Counter-Strike. Which map should be removed from the pool.
Yeah.
Who's the best player of the year? I heard her guess was Norbert. Either way.
A little bit of a rogue one there. She wants Cobblestone back as well. So.
She's just always looking for the clips, mate.
Yeah.
Speaking of looking for the clips, Alistair also going in for it. Nice find from him to open things up. Counter-Strike back underway. Took them a while to get going. It's the CT side that make a move. FlyQuest actually read into it, and they were very, very ready for the bits of aggression. It does feel like they've got Wildcard in the pocket at the moment. Sonic gets his kill, but that is all. Down to just Stan. And of course, another saving situation here, one would assume. FlyQuest taken off.
Yeah, Stan, I guess just keep hold of what you've got. I mean, this is really tough viewing. This is looking much more akin to what Nuke was like in that first half. FlyQuest just dominant, dictating the pace of this game and not even breaking a sweat in doing so. I mean, these rounds, unfortunately, they're just so easy. I mean, you can even just tell by raw stats. If you look at the deaths, Alistair's only got 2. Leah's only died once, right? I mean, they're not really losing fights or feeling uncomfortable or looking, you know, nervous at any point, which is one of the big things that Dust2 showed. They had weaknesses. They had gaps in the armor, and at the moment, it's completely been fortified back up. Wildcard, I wouldn't mind another pause. Just another conversation. Maybe going in towards this next gun round and just saying, right, this is how we're going to get the round. This is what we spotted so far. Get Vins on the mic as well and just try and get this guy to kind of rally the troops a bit, because the energy feels very low from what it was in Dust2 when they're doing so well. And you can see, you know, Friend hyping up the crowd and everybody getting loud and stuff. And now it looks very muted, and it feels very muted in the game as well. Mistakes creeping through. And it's tough. It's very tough. 7-1. Generally speaking, this is a T side of the map, so you want to be taking at least 7 rounds on the T side, but 1 for the CT is not good enough. That's for damn sure.
Started to unravel massively here as well, to be honest with you. But some gaps being found. Friend was aggressive through the smoke. ASAP. It's not looking good, man. This is a difficult kind of look as FlyQuest again somewhat prepared for this, Neo. There is still aggression coming round, and it continues to fail, unfortunately. Yeah, we talk about this a lot, but the way in which the rounds are happening, that is the big difference here. FlyQuest 8 on the horizon. Tech9 out, a little bit of an awkward dink. JBA still goes down, and Friend's on the other side of the map once again. So another save situation. There is absolutely no way in for Wildcard.
It's true. Friend will save. They should know where he is as well. He's been playing the same place more or less every round so far, in through E-Box. So they're starting to hunt as well. He's probably going to get caught here. I think Dex has got his number. And he's just got the timing. He's not got in towards this spawn. So down he goes. A little even, but got there in the end. 8-1. Oh, yeah. It's looking and feeling very flat in the server. The crowd's still got a bit of energy, which is good. But I think Wildcard really need their energy, in all honesty, because this has been a quiet performance, a tough one so far. We will have that tack pause, thankfully. Vins will get on the mic. All the things that we wanted. Get this guy conversing with the team. He has to fire them up here. You could maybe argue that the semi-final was an overperformance from Wildcard playing over standard in this tournament, but the way they played on Dust2, the way they took down M80, maybe it's, you know, the hope that kills you, but they felt that there was belief there, that they could make a little bit of a run. They could even upset as well, FlyQuest, especially off the back of how well that Dust2 went and the evident weaknesses that still plague this FlyQuest side. But no, not to be. And a sigh and not of relief, it has to be said, for Stan there as that round fell apart once again. 8-1. What a showing though from FlyQuest. While Dust2 was pretty tough, they have not pulled any punches here in towards Anubis.
Yeah. Stan maybe knows as well that what is happening here is not necessarily down to the calls or the moves or people not knowing what they're doing. There is an awful lot of not winning the fight. Susp with 1, JBA with 2. You don't like to point fingers at players, but 10 rounds in, give us at least 5, you know? Like, it just isn't there for them, unfortunately, and it is having an impact. A negative one at that. He said, it is the hope that kills you. It does indeed die last, sir, as they say.
Yeah.
So maybe Wildcard can keep themselves in it with a slim recovery into this second half. Once again, aggression being watched for. Dexter, I think, has got the ultimate underlying idea correct here, that it feels like Wildcard are a bit desperate. They feel like they have to do something in these rounds. Can't just sit and let the executes come their way. And FlyQuest, Dexter, they have changed their game up quite substantially here.
Yeah, it feels like a time to try to force it a little bit. And in doing so, they're getting caught off guard, but just as I speak, Susp will get his, but in doing so, as Susp makes that move in through mid, it sort of indicates that there needs to be a move on the other side, and that's where they start pushing in towards this B site, and they'll realize soon no one's here. It's a timing play, but Inz actually goes a little slow. He lags behind there, and he'll get caught. So yes, they've got the B site, but it's not exactly fortified. I'm looking the wrong way. It's all down to one. Alistair, 1 versus 3, surely impossible, and it will. Gets a tag through the wall, but not good enough. You can say long time coming or better late than never, whatever anecdote you want to use. All we care about, finally, another round on the board for Wildcard. They get a second. If they want a chance, I think 8-4 feels like a bare minimum for me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think they'd be very happy with that as well, given the possibility of a dangerous scoreline.
Yeah.
So they will take it. There you go. Yes, boys. I don't lip read professionally, but that one was pretty easy. Either way, a bit more going to be required. We have a lull in play here as well. Talking things over, keeping things cool and calm.
Not 100% sure, but if I'm right in saying this is the 3rd tack pause we've had, but it surely must be the 3rd one out for Wildcard as well. So using them all up early, they know how important it is for them to get a bit of stability at the tail end of this half. We know they've had good moments on the pistols as well, so maybe trying to bank on that a little bit. But yeah, I'm right in saying that might be their 3rd tack pause already in this first half for Wildcard. If that is the case and things go a little south in towards the second half at all, Vin just has to sit there and watch. Yeah. No more in the locker, so that'll be tough. You get the buys out both ways. Friend back in towards the AWP. Both him and Alistair lie on 4 kills, but so far this series, it's really all been Friend who's been making a name for himself.
No one on the other side of the smoke as the nade echoes out. Pretty tense here into this round. It will be a very, very deciding moment for Wildcard in particular. Out through middle once again. It has been a problem area. Stan giving them control of it on the jiggle smoke peak. Oh my! Dexter takes him though. That is quick. That is fierce. A lot of damage out from JBA. Friend's got too many targets and shoots in between the legs. That's unfortunate. Another save situation. And yes, you might have the right idea, but Dexter again knows what's up. Hell of an entry in, as he is far and away the top fragger here. Really impressive stuff for FlyQuest, and they're right back to their winning ways.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, talk about leading by example for Dexter as well. He's looking great. I mean, he's doing so much to call and play around himself, but he's also delivering what he's asked as well. That's all you can really look towards in your leader. And yeah, perfect stuff. And especially considering when there's been times when they've really required him for a bit of impact. That round in particular, stunning stuff. It may not seem like much, but going 1 for 1 in that situation when they know they have the numbers advantage, it just works perfectly. So Susp and Sonic, no save. And they keep hold of 2 AK-47s. We head into the final round at 9-2. And just like the first half of Nuke, there is a world here in which FlyQuest can take a 10-2 half. And like we said, 99 times out of 100, if you get a 10-2 half, it's more or less a guarantee that you're going to take the map. And in this case, the series and moving on to the grand final.
Yeah, it's very difficult though when you find these sporadic rounds and, you know, when you've tried many different methods of aggression, passive, sight stacks, etc. It just gives the message that you don't quite know where the wins are coming from, and maybe they felt this in the water, and that's why we didn't see Anubis as the pick. Yes, the stats might be there, but just something in the recent practice or, you know, the higher level teams, they know they don't actually play a good Anubis. They just sort of end up winning it against more domestic opposition. All food for thought.
Airburst Molly there, by the way, so it keeps holding that really strong position by the pillar. Normally they get forced off that. I think that's maybe why they call for a quick cancel on the execute. That is bold from Dexter.
He's felt confident on his entries, to be fair. Sonic keeps the frags coming in. Alistair had a pick of targets there, manages to take one and survive. Inns is the lurking presence here that's coming in a bit late. He's hoping to catch someone dropping down. Won't be the case. Has the correct read, though. Maybe heard a footstep. JBA in behind, gets the flash. That is criminal. Manages to dip under the smoke, making Alistair's life hell. Inns goes down, and we do see Wildcard pick up that final round. A long road ahead. They couldn't do it on Nuke. Can they do it here on Anubis? We'll find out.
Now tell me, how's I supposed to know she's a devil and you take her bait? Just when I'm good to go, that's when she's gonna make you wait. That's fine, I'll take it slow.
A little bit more NA magic going to be required for this, as Wildcard have kept themselves in it despite a 10-2 half to start the series. Despite the Dust2 that looked so good for FlyQuest, they have somehow stayed alive. Now a 9-3 deficit to come back from. Not going to be easy by any stretch, but they go on to the stronger side. They have been good on the pistols. They look to do so again. It's tough for Sonic. He's traded quick, and the burst from the other side of the map will find success as well. Friend and Stan all alone potentially to save the semi-finals here.
Yeah, one of the things that made FlyQuest so scary in towards Nuke was their proactivity on CT side. They loved getting in toward advanced angles and, you know, taking fights on their terms, and that's another prime example of it, getting up in their face early, take the action to them. And don't allow the T side to set up. Friend, nice flick and a find, as Liaz will get clipped, but still a lot more that needs to be done. As Friend and Stanislaw, IGL and Stand-In have got to really pull them from the dregs in this one. They've got to pull them up from what is a tough spot, but now with a bomb plant, maybe, and the smokes are down in good places. It's semi-workable.
Stan is trying to get the ideal timing on this one as well. Friend hears all these footsteps hiding inside of his own smoke. Ins on the Julies. It's kind of the perfect weapon to deal with a surprise attack. He will still lose the fight though, and now the B main control comes in. Really solidly done. Stan hiding on the edge of his own smoke will be spotted, unfortunately. I don't know. It's a good move from Friend, but yeah, they're not in the perfect spot. There's not a lot of time at all. Round the corner, Alistair will take him. They revived it, but couldn't convert. And that seems to be the message of the day here for Wildcard, unfortunately. Potentially the beginning of the end.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate thing, just like with that round, as with many of them in that first half, it's close but no cigar, right? They've got the idea there and they just cannot convert in those 50-50s right at the tail end. Good for them to even get into a position of getting a plant down and having something around that, but ever so slight mistakes ended up being quite costly. Alistair pumped up there. It's good to see. 10-3. What a task that Wildcard have got ahead of them. They are going to go for that force bite into this round. Expected with the bomb plant. What they bring to the table. AK-47, Galil. Double Mac-10 and a Deagle. And the bulk of the utility on the back pocket of JBA with that upgraded pistol. A flash, a smoke, a molly. Another smoke as well on towards Sus. All basically relies on them. Vexite for the first is good. Friend will get caught. Already one dropped, and Sus will also follow.
Yeah, damn, he's Vexite's out and then he's back in, looking very comfortable here for FlyQuest. What can Wildcard do? Really, really difficult situation in this round, regardless of where the game is at. 5 versus 3 to come back from. Ins has got a really deep position here, a lot of information, cutting off the dark angles. Gonna hear some footsteps maybe as well. Not quite sure. He might just be out of range. But there's no need to panic on the FlyQuest side, right? No need to stack a bomb site. No need to sort of overexert your defenses.
Might hear that. They're pretty loud.
Yeah, I think so. That's a little kick of the water, unfortunately. Always difficult to remember. Utility coming in here from Wildcard. Ins wins his fight in the double spray down for Vexite. Sees the round off. Damn, not a single player going down. This is not looking good. That was the moment Wildcard needed to find the return round and keep things alive. But it seems they cannot.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They had one flash to work in that round. It gets used earlier, and they have to just try contact peek coming through A main. I mean, it's asking so much of them, and it's actually just pretty simple to shut down in the end. Vexite does very well at the start there as well, and then another double at the tail end to finish. The youngster as well. Really solid stuff. He plays some tough positions, you know, B site, Dust2, A site here on Anubis on the CT side. They're not easy at times. You can get isolated, you can get overwhelmed, but he never seems to succumb to the pressure. And unfortunately, that's what's happening to Wildcard. They're drifting, they're dwindling in this situation. 2 more rounds is what FlyQuest need to book themselves into a spot in that grand final, vying for that, their trophy here in Atlanta. Quad kill from Vexite as well, as we spoke of, is a perfect way to inch yourself closer and closer. We're force bind again. Wildcard, you can say maybe they lost the plot, but I don't think they've got too many choices. If I'm being completely frank with you. A Scout, a Mac-10s, a couple of them, and the Tech 9. And okay, decent damage. The first kill and the nade on top of it.
The money runs low, but everything else has to stay for Wildcard. They've slowed it down, looking to burst in towards this B-bomb site. There is backup on the way for the CT side of things. Ooh, little bit of a splash once again. Vexite, though, attempting to keep them at bay, does some good damage. It is going to come down to these players on the site itself. Dexter is here quickly. Alistair on the MP9, just giving the room, giving the site up. Does not mind. Dexter comes round from behind, getting a bit weird. Bomb's not been planted just yet. They're unsure of timings. They're unsure of repositions. Molotov is nice. Alistair can't confirm the kill, though. That's going to be a big deal. Bomb plant coming in now that they know the location of these two players. No real utility to work with here. Now that that smoke has gone down, Dexter finds a spam on the edge of it. He does have that kit, so keep your eye on where he dies and whether Alistair can use it. Got to be brave here and make your way out. They crossed each other inside the smoke. It is just to hold it down. I don't think the bomb is planted for him. It's on the other side of the site, so if Dexter can get onto it, they're going to know that. It's actually Alistair that goes in for the defuse, and just about Dexter is able to take him down. A seemingly unwinnable situation for FlyQuest goes their way. The stars aligning for the wrong side, it would appear, in Atlanta, unfortunately. Wildcard, a 9-round deficit now.
Yeah, and I think Dexter does really well individually there. I think he calls it perfectly. The timing of him and Alistair working together, expert stuff, and on that flank as well, he draws a bit of attention to himself. Gets a little bit fortunate with that spam, but the seconds behind it, nice and easy. So, yeah, great work. And what ended up being a nice place to plant, right? There's a Molotov down over towards Dark. It's stopping Alistair rotating in. They get to set up. When they trade places in that smoke, like ships in the night, they go past each other. It actually works against Wildcard, unfortunately. 12-3, map and series point. FlyQuest lining themselves up for a grand final here. And the chance at winning that lion's share of 100 grand. Wildcard, the recovery they need would be heroic. I don't know if they got it in the locker. Friend looking to kickstart things as well. Damage will be dealt, but they burst on towards the site. 1-for-1 trades.
Ooh, bomb being delayed slightly. That could be their downfall here. Dexter coming in. Double, triple from Dexter in at Dark. He's had a great game. He looks to finish it in a pretty nice way too. Friend all alone. Surely not, we say. The bomb not planted. I mean, thank goodness, because he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. FlyQuest have taken it. Our first team in the grand finals do so in pretty clean fashion, it is safe to say. A fantastic performance out from them in that series. Yeah. Difficult bounce backs. They have to contend with comebacks. They have to contend with a surprise on Dust2, but Anubis was all about them. No stress